Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to our little group here. This is another episode 19 of The Haunting of Harrowstone. Yeah.
Hot dogs and applesauce. What is up, everyone?
Hot dogs and applesauce?
Yeah.
You can dip them.
I mean, I wouldn't put them together, but I could see eating.
Nope, it's got to be together. You got it. You got your applesauce with the cinnamon inside of it. You got your relish hot dog with mustard. You dip it in. You take a bite.
Stop.
Google, how
Stop
do you
it.
mute someone on Zoom? How?
I don't like salty or I don't like savory and sweet together.
I see. I'm the same way.
I like them separate. I'm like
I
salty
love savory sweet.
and sweet.
yeah.
Like they don't need to be combined.
Maple bacon
very
is
specific.
fine.
See, that's okay.
Pineapple
right?
on pizza.
No, that's
okay.
a
Again,
mistake.
how
That's
do you
disgusting.
mute someone?
No.
on
Mistake
Zoom?
of
Pineapple on
creation.
pizza, definitely. Or was it candied bacon? I believe is the other one.
Yeah.
Candy bacon's the bomb.
Yeah.
So.
Candy bacon's
Dude,
pretty
put
good.
whatever on your pizza. I don't care. Just don't give it to me.
Also,
Bacon,
fair.
pineapple,
Exactly.
jalapeno.
a slight guilty
Go put
pleasure of mine.
apples on it if you want.
I like putting maple syrup on my breakfast sausage, like just like a little
Yeah,
bit
no, that's
over
good.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't touch.
McGriddle.
Why?
Oh,
There needs to be a
McGriddle,
wall.
exactly.
And
Yes.
build a wall.
Maggie and I over here, we're on the same wavelength. Like,
Wait, you guys don't like McGriddles?
No.
Not really.
What?
No, I don't like
They're-
McDonald's.
Wow.
They're
Okay,
really heavy,
not loving
but
it?
Yeah, me too.
They're
I hate
good.
McDonald's.
hey, but they're hiring.
Yo,
Just
are you
fire.
looking for a job, Mello? Because
I was going for the logo, but all I could find was a "We're hiring."
We're hired.
Sponsored by
there.
McDonald's.
I love
That's
McDonald's.
good.
A new logo now.
Yeah, that's
Hashtag not
perfect.
sponsored, but
Right,
hey,
exactly.
you want to sponsor us.
Have you reached out for a McGriddle today?
Can someone clip this and tag McDonald's in like under 10 minutes, please?
Oh yeah, I'm
Oh,
sure.
man.
Come on.
someone can.
please
So-
don't.
Not so. Please don't. But I don't know. My kid. I could keep my kids in chicken nuggies, and I'd be happy there.
Oh,
that would
nuggets.
save some money. Those are pretty good. But you don't like honey roasted
Cheerios.
peanuts and
No.
M&Ms. They're
No.
like my holiday.
You know,
I feel like Bubs and Maggie are the people that buy like the weird border plates at barbecues where like everything's
why does it
just
make us
like
weird?
yeah.
because
It's just
Yeah,
how
'cause
they
you-
like to eat. We can disagree and be shocked at our disagreements without insulting.
Hey, it just means there's more for you.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You don't have to be like,
Like-
oh, you know what sounds great? Some fucking M&Ms. And you're like, oh wait, why is there Tabasco on my M&M? Because you're fucking weird. You're mixing. No, it's like, I get some M&Ms and they're M&M flavor. Yeah, because that's
They
how
are
it's
with
designed.
Tabasco.
I guess I
No!
don't mind trail
No!
mix vibes. I suppose
Trail mix works, right? Like,
I can go. I could do like nuts and chocolate,
see, that's
but
I'm
that's not the same as like a
I'm with you.
McGriddle. Like it's not the same as like a pancake and syrup and wrapping like sausage in it.
Pigs in a
and
blanket
eating
are my favorite.
Oh, dude, I would stab someone for pigs. in a
Oh my
blanket.
gosh. I get the 2x2x2 at IHOP and make my own. Just a
That's-
tip.
I'm not see, I'm
Take
not
that
even
one
mad about
for
that.
ya.
I just think there's some things that don't go well together. Like going to Wendy's and people are like, yo, have you dipped your fries and nuggets in your soft
Shake.
shake?
Oh,
I don't
no.
know about
Like,
the
no.
nuggets,
No,
but the
dude.
fries aren't
Lots of
bad.
people do it
The
though.
fries
It's
are good.
gross.
That's
I've-
so bizarre to me.
So
Wendy's
that I
fries
can
are
agree
not
with,
good.
No,
but
they're
it
not.
doesn't. So
The curly
they're not-
fries maybe, but
They're
their
not
regular fries
McDonald's
are nasty.
good, but they're good.
You
I
know
don't know
who has
why,
good
but
fries? KFC has good fries.
Potato wedges, though.
Taco
No,
Bell
they
has
have
good
they
fries.
have regular fries
Wedges.
that are really good, and I never knew this until recently.
See, I think
Because
Taco
I
Bell's
got
fries
KFC.
are not very good, but the seasoning, the taco seasoning they put on the fries makes them fucking phenomenal. I don't
From
even
where?
understand it. From Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Bell.
Oh,
I'm not
I
a
can't do
big-
Taco Bell.
I'm not a big
Taco Bell
Wendy's-
goes in one way and then it goes out a way I don't
But
want.
the fries, you don't get the beans. The beans
You
are
eat it
death.
fast and it comes out even faster.
Just
Yeah,
say
it's
beans.
not-
I'm not
Taco
a big
Bell makes
Wendy's
me realize
fan.
it's not food.
Not a big Wendy's fan, but like I guess they just upped their fry game. I don't know. They're like changed their fries, and I tried them recently, and they're pretty fucking good.
Wendy's
They're not bad.
All right.
Yeah.
spicy nugs. When they took away spicy
Oh.
nugs, I
Yeah.
like lost it.
My
Oh, they're
husband
back.
was mad.
They're back.
I was mad.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
They're back.
back
Yeah, they're back now.
Yeah.
Don't tell Nurble.
You heard nothing.
That'll
They've
be
been
dinner
back for like a
tomorrow.
year or something, more than a year, probably.
Yeah,
For a
'cause
while.
of-
Yeah.
Sad.
Three
Just
years.
like was it the
Australia won't get these things.
It was like the Szechuan
Look,
sauce because
I'm
of Rick
not-
and Morty. They brought
not gonna lie to
back
you,
like all these
okay?
like old like foods and stuff.
You're not missing out, Wyld. I promise. You're not missing out.
It's not that good.
We're
This
all
is
like, you know what?
fast food.
It's 2 a.m. I've got $4. How am I going to feel terrible about myself in about 40 minutes? Taco
I mean-
Bell. That's it. That's the
Doner
one.
kebab.
I'm about to drop a real bomb and say I like
no
Burger
Taco
King.
Bell.
I like Burger
I
King
don't-
too.
I
I
like
don't hate it.
I like flame broiled.
I worked at
Whoppers.
Burger King for 4 years.
Okay. All right. I
Did you?
don't think Whoppers are terrible, but how do this?
How
They're
is-
one of
how-
the. They're one of the
Yeah, we're
few
here now.
fast
The
food.
local
They're one
Burger
of the
King here
few
is-
fast food that can make
bad.
mayonnaise work on a burger. You
You mean-
can't get mayonnaise on a McDonald's burger. It doesn't taste
No.
right.
No.
Mayonnaise
It
is
doesn't taste
disgusting.
But mayonnaise,
Mayonnaise is disgusting.
it's-
I'm with you.
Mayonnaise
What?
is
It
just,
is.
mayonnaise
It
is
is
just
mayonnaise is
disgusting.
nasty.
Except on a sandwich or a burger. Like,
Mayonnaise
it's
is-
like very specific.
Amazing.
no, dude.
Yeah.
I
No.
like Burger
Like,
King's
okay.
chicken
All right.
sandwich.
So McDonald's, their chicken sandwiches, the only thing that comes on it is lettuce and mayonnaise, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because the lettuce is crispy as fuck and it has no flavor at all. You regret eating it. And the mayonnaise, they put it on there because the chicken is so dry
It's
you can't
glue.
swallow it. It's literally meat lubricant.
Well, that's
Yeah,
your
it's
first
glue.
problem. You're getting a chicken sandwich from McDonald's.
So
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm so complimented. Someone thinks I'm a Zoomer.
I mean, I
Imperial's so excited. She's like, I'm a Zoomer.
I mean, how old are Zoomers? They're
I-
certainly
I
not
have no
40.
idea.
Am I a Zoomer?
No.
I don't think I'm a Zoomer.
don't you always want
No,
food for your
I don't
meat?
know
what I am.
No, I don't.
Zoomers are the young
Millennials.
ones.
I
I
don't.
think I'm
Millennials.
technically
We're
like.
millennials.
I'm not
Yes.
a.
Am I a
I'm not
millennial?
I'm
or
Gen
am I
X.
My dad
like the-
is.
Am I
My
before the
dad's Gen
millennial?
X. Yeah.
I am
God.
definitely a millennial.
I'm your mom.
I'm 36.
Cobalt.
I don't know how old everybody is here, but
I mean, she's got you by like
Shocking
10 years,
reveal.
10 years, I think.
I mean, now I'm like, could I be your mom?
I'm 30.
Now I'm like, how old are
I
you?
mean,
no, I'm,
like,
no,
are
I'm
you-
35. I'm 35.
I
shit.
could
You can
technically.
adopt
I
me.
mean, I could have
are
been
you
your mom.
asking to be?
Like, no.
Is there a sign-up sheet?
No. I mean, I am Twitch mom, but I don't have to be your mom. I mean, it's a choice, right? Like it's all like.
Go on.
I choose to opt into
We'll
this.
talk later.
I choose to be adopted. Someone adopt me.
I got you. I love it. So no, little Cia started calling me Twitch mom, and it fucking stuck. I was like, I want sister. No, okay, got it. Never mind. Mom, it is.
No, it's the same reason why I have a mom emote, mag mom. Is because everyone always, because I'm always trying to give people like life advice.
Oh, I still have.
unasked for life advice. I'm like, drink your water, son.
I still have a reminder in my calendar that says buy Maggie a Christmas gift. So I'm with you in terms of bombing people.
It's because I never had Christmas gifts really as a kid.
And you're gonna get one.
And Imperial's sad about it. I'm not. I think it makes me value things, like value gifts a
Yeah,
lot more.
and you'll value this one.
Well, I do have some news, guys. To just put us back on the tabletop table.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and-
we're here for D&D.
and not,
Right.
and not
Oh,
the
yeah.
fast
I think we're all hungry.
We,
Right.
we slowly
Talking about
converted to a
food.
just chatting with
Yeah,
really,
Maggie.
not wrong.
really
Maybe.
quickly though, really quickly, put sour cream on your burgers. Boom.
Ew, no.
No,
I
trust
hate
me.
sour cream
I
too.
just
Oh,
stick
if you
with
hate
mayo.
sour cream,
I mean,
then
I
don't
would-
do it.
I would try it.
Try
I'd
it.
try it.
I would stick with mayo. That's usually what it is. Stay
So
with that.
good.
Mayo
Good
and sour
fresh
cream are
mayo
like in the
made
same
fresh is
family.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, but-
Nasty.
No,
What'd you say,
not that
Wyld?
great.
Have you had it?
Fresh mayo is phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
But we
Yeah.
don't get fresh mayo.
If you make it,
Yeah.
We don't get that.
We're American.
we
don't-
get at best like Hellman's.
it is so YouTube it. It is
Or Kraft.
ridiculously
It's
easy.
it's literally 2 ingredients.
we get best foods because we're west of the Mississippi. Or west of
so
something.
easy.
They're not. It's not even Hellman's. It's best foods.
Oh,
Was it? It's egg
Love it.
whites and olive oil, isn't it? And you have to. Yeah, that's
I
it.
Yeah,
like this
but-
poll.
Wait, there's a poll?
Team
Make it-
Miracle
there's a
Whip.
poll.
Yeah.
Hot noodles
Oh,
is
full.
harder. Like a
Oh,
hot
full
noodle.
Miracle
That's
Whip.
harder than making fresh mayo. Like, not kidding. Go try it.
I love mayo so much. Instead of making Alfredo, I just get mayo, right? Just blam, just throw it in there and mix it in.
Bob, you were saying?
We have a heroin card here.
This
Yay.
looks creepy. Like some dude is like creeping on some other dude.
It's
I don't like
it's
it.
the courtesan. I've already looked up what's happening. This is courtesy of Pharmecius. And It's positively aligned, guys. It is in the favor of the players. You guys have nothing to worry about as far as the negative traits go. And it's actually kind of interesting. It's going to come into play. I can't tell you exactly when, but you're going to have some ideas. Additionally, we have 2 luck rerolls today, just 2. We have 3 more that we can still
We're gonna
gain.
need more.
Probably going to need more is my guess. But
Oh, good.
let's talk about what happened last time we played. Ronald.
Yes. How's it going? You want to know what happened last time, right?
I'm giving this to you so you can do the thing.
Oh, everyone. Hey, how's it going? You guys are sitting down, plugged in. All right. Get your rest to get possessor tonight's towering recap. Oh, my leg. Welcome back, everyone.
Perfect.
I'm Ronald or
Standard.
Xander, or that hot guy just like Idris Elba. You know, that's me. That's the face and stuff I go by on Twitch. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, this guy looks like Idris Elba, but hotter." I'm like, "I know, it's crazy."
From Wish.
Sandra Silva from Wish.
I'll see myself out. Thank you.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Ronald, you know I'm joking.
Oh, man.
Mostly.
My soul hurts, but it's okay.
Speaking of forest, there's a lot of shade around here.
Bro.
I'm okay with the shade.
Yeah, Ronald knows. He knows how I feel. He's good.
I thought we were here to play.
Yeah, no joke. Thank you so much for that. That was wonderful. I was not anticipating that.
Didn't mean to snort. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. Okay, so last time we played, what happened?
Oh, I thought Ronald was taking it. Is he
Oh,
not
I-
actually doing it?
I literally just did that part. I didn't know if we were. Do you want me to?
He's like, I'll just do the intro. I'm not actually gonna progress this at all.
Oh, fuck, man. This is what I live for.
So what happened? There was a lot of, a lot of talking, a lot of inner party drama is what was going on there. We had a few people that were still injured, like Temerity. Some people were psychologically injured and were sort of taking it easy. Some were being visited by, messengers from other gods and offered, powers and paths, options, which were rejected. If Cobalt wants to speak more on that.
Damn, I'm like
I
this.
lost an eye.
This is I feel like this is a fairly rare occasion, right? Where we've gotten like a very quick, like cliff noted event of what happened last time, specifically from Ello, and I feel like that's sort of rare. It's sort of rare that we get that. So thank you, Ello. I appreciate that. I know that you tune in. I know that you're paying attention. You're remembering, and I like it.
Oh yeah,
Well, we played last week, not like 4
or 5 weeks ago.
so
Yeah.
Let's not give him too much credit here.
Oh, no. Oh my God. Everyone's throwing shade at everyone here.
I'm gonna go get a jacket. It's cold in the shade.
You're doing great, man. You're the best.
I wonder why I don't, come out of my shell for this part very often.
You merely adopted the shade. I was born into it, molded by it.
Oh, great.
But yeah, there was. That's the. Does anybody else want to pick up?
Let's Cobalt,
was it Eli?
Let's start there with that, right? Like that was some of the earliest part of our session. So Cobalt, can you sort of recap us, and then I'd love to kind of like get your thoughts on it, not just Eli's, but like I want to know what Cobalt was thinking in those moments.
Well, Perrin tried to I should say not Perrin, but Tripp tried to guilt trip me into saying I wasn't being open with the group.
It was
So I
not
was
guilt
like,
tripping. It was not guilt tripping.
Screw that, man. I was like, yeah. I basically just let him talk, and then he left the room, and I was like, I'm not doing anything he's told me to do. And then that's when the dragon servant showed up, which I thought might be for my god at first.
Okay.
But then when they revealed that they were working for the Lady of Death for Pharasma, I was like, uh-oh, that's not good.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, I had an accident where I burned a bunch of Pharasma symbols around my eye and got a piece of magic glass stuck in it, which was basically setting it off and making it go all crazy. And they were like, "Oh, we'll give you control over that if you, show favor to our, goddess or whatever," and trying to tempt me with a gift. And I said, "Get your witchcraft out of here. Take your cursed eye back, and all hail Torag, baby, for life."
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
And so, yeah, and they were like, "Well, we're going to take your eyesight out of your eye then." And I was like, "Bring it. I'll rip it out myself if it makes my god happy." And then they poofed away, probably very disgruntled. But, you got to stick to your guns sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't just speak to gods like that.
Well, he wasn't a god, but you can tell your lady for Asmund to go suck it. No offense to Temerity. But who was like sleeping in the room at the time.
Of the gods. It's like...
Yeah, it's like one of the servants. Like,
Yep.
The voice. It was like the voice.
That's right. The voice. Canon out of game stuff, just for like lore. The voice is the guardian of the gates to the boneyard. He has to verify that he's a colossal blue Lenorm that
dragon.
just floats through the sky and just verifies that you are who you say you are. And if you try to sneak in, he fucking evaporates you. You're just boof gone because he's that crazy powerful.
Lie detector.
Yes.
Yeah. Eli was scared the entire time, but still talked shit a little bit. So it was
Sure.
good.
You got to stand your ground.
But sometimes you don't know if you're hallucinating either, and if you're going crazy, or if there's like an actual godlike creature standing in front of you. But then after that, everybody basically got rounded up, and Eli actually did take a little bit of advice from Tripp and tried to be like, "Hey, I'm not this silver-spooned noble paladin with this upbringing where I just got everything I wanted handed to me and etc." And so went over the backstory for what happened during the childhood, which was very similar to Rise as well in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
And then he ended up basically threatening goblins and talking about how much he loved killing them for a while again.
Torvin's in the back the homie. Yeah, we see eye to eye.
It was a real roller coaster.
It was. It really was.
Because he only has one eye, that's why.
One Eye Eli and Burning Man Rye,
Mike Wazowski lie.
Yeah. Yeah. This is, you know what? This is fine, right? I feel like we've had a lot of particular development with all of the characters, and even intermittently so. But one thing that I can say from watching this through and through, Eli still is attempting to bridge the gap with other characters, but his intentions, the impact is always that's where the bridge is he's trying to build it with one hand, he's got the hammer and nails, and the other hand he's holding the torch and he's lighting it on fire at the same time. It's I just want to be your friends. Also, you're pretty okay for a fucking goblin, I guess.
Yeah.
Might kill you later.
And an evil abomination soul melded creature guy.
Every opportunity he's well, I mean, we're all in good company except for that fucking Rye guy who's evil. Super
Yeah, that's
fucking
literally
evil.
what it is. It's I was hey man, just some advice. Just open up a little, be a little more accepting of people. And he's yeah, this to all of you. And I was
it totally was. We all were
you're lying to me.
We're learning about his orphan background and Mother May and all this stuff, and it was and then he's just I'm an asshole.
Yep.
Right.
5 seconds later.
It's
I was
he
just
ends every. Oh, God.
You lied to me bluntly, is what I said twice.
Okay, but we
Eli-
And then Rye wasn't
the
that was
logic.
my fault. He was just
No, that is not how that went down.
Yeah.
Rye attempted to explain the logic behind not telling you in the moment, which was backed up by Torvin.
Yeah, you didn't trust me. You thought I was gonna lose my shit.
Yeah, why would we?
Because you
think
have
that?
lost your shit in every.
Yeah, that's what I was
Only
saying.
once or
You were
twice.
literally talking to your god out loud, pointing at me, talking about killing me, in the middle of.
You look crazy, bro. You crazy looking.
I feel like
He looks
everything-
crazy. You're the one literally shouting your deity's name, and all of us in the room are
my supernatural
going
powers
on?
are telling me you're evil, and then I see that shit. Yeah, that's a
supernatural
red
powers-
flag, dude.
From
Little bit of
Pharasma,
a-
the god you just rejected.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Why are you relying on the
note that-
information from the tool of the god you just rejected?
Oh, I'm the god of
Pharasma
death.
is
I killed
Temerity's.
everyone during your childhood, but be my friend now.
Yeah,
no big
I think
deal.
Torag is his. Pharasma's Temerity's.
Temerity's God.
Yeah.
Man, I thought we were trying to bring Eli in a little
And
bit in
Oz-
that scene. And,
We were,
and
but
Eli
it's
was
like-
no, he tanked his own friendship.
Just let me in.
Every time you try to go in for a hug, it's like he does this to your face. He's like no.
I
Yeah,
just
it's like
lost
that,
an
yeah.
eye, dude. I just
Yeah,
lost
it's like
an eye.
Step Brothers.
It
You
is,
know, when they
it's-
go in for the hug and they're
the
like,
shoving,
and they're like,
yeah.
and he's like punching him in the stomach
Yeah.
and like pushing his face.
Yep.
You know?
Well, it's like
Kinda
you're
perfect.
a footnote in every conversation where it's like everyone's so nice. Well, I mean, not that guy, but everyone's so nice.
I am nice. You guys are just.
No,
you
you're
have not been
saying
nice
that.
to me.
He's the. You're
I
saying
was
that
nice.
he's
I
not the
sucked
nice
your
guy.
poison.
Like how the
Oh.
conversation went down is pretty much like it's such like a high
Oh.
school. It's such like a high school incident. You're like,
Suck your
yeah.
poison.
you're like, yeah, I like this person, but fuck that guy. And you're like, dude, you know we're all friends with that one guy, right?
He was raised by dwarves. He's gonna put his foot in his mouth constantly.
Constantly, and that's the one thing that I
Look at
actually
his actions.
really
Torvin over there is
enjoy.
like,
Right about
why are you talking smack about dwarves now?
Eli-
Look, you just
is hella consistent, right? I don't think anybody can argue that. Eli is
No, it's
so
great.
consistent,
He's good. I love it.
and
Try
that's
to be.
that makes for like
So
that's
consistent.
strong.
No, it's great.
Strong
We love
No,
it.
character.
it's
Seven killing
fantastic.
things.
Believe me, I would
Absolutely.
rather have kept my eye in
Sure.
a character,
Right.
But that's not what Eli would have done. He's
No,
gonna
it's-
rip that shit out of his face if he has
It's
to.
super admirable because not everybody can do. I can't do that.
Honestly?
I'm the queen. I'm the queen of like. No, that sounds good. Let's do that.
little note here from your storyteller. If you had decided to go with Pharasma, I wouldn't have damned you from Torag. I would have just pulled you in multiple directions.
But eventually, you're gonna come across the road where you have to make the choice anyway.
Yeah, that's
So
that's 100%
it's
certain.
you can only toe the line so long,
Correct.
Why?
and then there's gonna be repercussions for not just. I feel like doing it, just making the sever right away.
Stupid question,
Dude.
but is it as long as their alignments are still fundamentally intact and your principles overall are the same, you could worship more than one god, couldn't you?
Technically, you can.
Depends on the god, right?
Yeah, right. Like it's,
Yeah.
you could. I mean, in
Yeah.
the pantheon, there's
And-
like 13 major gods, but in Pathfinder's in total pantheon, you're looking at like 140 some odd gods that occupy various shifts in alignment. So you
More
can.
a case of, can you be a paladin of multiple gods?
Yeah.
That's what I was
No.
asking.
Well, yeah, I
Right,
think
like-
Paladin would be.
Yeah, it
much
makes you a
more
little more
strict.
trickier.
monotheistic.
Mm.
It's definitely
Right,
a little
like-
trickier. But remember, paladins, like, you don't have to just herald a god. You can herald a touchstone, right? A keystone of what your character can be.
vengeance.
Yeah, you can be a paladin of vengeance and represent a myriad of things. You could be a paladin of vengeance for Pharasma. Remember, Pharasma, she is seen as the goddess of death, but she's actually the goddess of judgment. She judges those that enter the boneyard to determine whether or not they go up or down. Everything else after that, she kind of gets shit on for. And I mean, with reason. Gods kind of get shit on. It's
I mean,
part of
Oz
the job.
thinks they're all cuckoo.
Exactly.
Cocoa Puffs. So-
Rye picks up the discarded glass from Eli's eye and shoves it into his own.
Oh my
Demands
God.
an audience. Demands an audience with Pharasma.
Well, if you don't want it,
Wow.
You forgot the runes. Let's heat up that
Yeah.
that planchette.
Yeah, I'm not gonna burn my eye. I saw your mistake on that one. I'll
It's
just
kind of
do.
Torag's
I'll
fault that
skip
they
that
got
part.
burned in.
I'll
You'll be
skip that
fine.
part and just do the glass in the eye. That'll be enough.
Why did you switch gods? Well, the last keystone was too heavy, so I went keystone light.
Oh, that's terrible. That is.
Good night,
Oh,
everybody.
God. Are you even a father? You're not even licensed to tell jokes like that.
Yeah, you haven't paid the dues for that.
Yeah,
level.
you're not. You haven't earned that kind of joke.
He's leveling up his skills.
Yeah, I'll be
What
max.
skills?
I know it's gonna be capped out on dad jokes before I even have like, my first kid. It's gonna be great.
Dad, why do you never tell jokes? Well, it's a long story.
Yeah, I've already capped out that
peaked
class
early.
and moved on. Oh man, good times.
I both love and hate you, Ronald. Coin flip sometimes, my guy. Coin flip. So that's
There was a knock on the door.
yes. There
Yeah.
was more that
Yeah.
occurred.
Yes, there was a knock on the door, and Rye went to
Forever
answer
servant
it, and of
dog.
course, it was not a normal person,
No.
like in a normal town. It was a messenger of some kind with
Yes.
bracelets and I believe a
Choker.
Yeah.
choker.
Yeah.
And delivered a note. And as soon as I took the note from this undead creature from Nidal, it dissipated, and the bracelets and the torque rolled over to Jaminda and latched itself to her.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, it did.
Mm-hmm. And she freaked out.
She then revealed that she was like a handmaiden to Peverin's mother, who was nobility in Nidal.
Which only Oz knew before.
Yeah.
Correct.
But Oz was sworn to secrecy, otherwise his teeth would fall out.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Oz likes his teeth.
Yeah, I figured, or at least what's left of them, right? Like goblins aren't
Yeah.
exactly seen as paragons of dental
Well,
health.
he's got like shark. I imagine Oz is like a shark mouth kind of vibe going.
Like full
that's what I
grill.
said.
Encouraging.
Just like a
Close your
bunch of
mouth,
teeth
looks like
in
a
there,
fucking
just
shark.
like all over, like.
I pictured Oz's mouth like a jack-o'-lanterns, just various angles.
He's,
Oh,
he's
now
the
I
ship
want-
Skylark of teeth, of goblin teeth. Okay.
I want to get Oz a grill now.
Oh man, that's perfect. I'm curious, Ello, do you remember what those creatures were called?
No, I do not.
It's okay.
I do not.
It's okay. Does anybody remember what they're called?
Forever servant.
They're called Evers. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
ever
Evers.
servant.
yeah, they're called the Evers. And
Evers. I would have never,
That was
ever.
the threat. She was told that she had to come back before the year's end, or she would be reassigned to the Evers. Yes. Yeah. So that's sort of important going on. Maybe not necessarily in this campaign, but you'd better believe that there will be Nidal visits in future campaigns.
So it's a safe assumption that the rings are just pretty much going to make her like decay really fast. She'll die and then just become one.
Oh no, it's common knowledge in Nidal that if you have the Ever rings on, if you don't meet whatever the prerequisite is to keep them from acting, the wrists are to control you, the choker is to kill you.
That's what I mean. Like effectively, it's gonna either kill you and kind of just rot with the rings on.
Yep.
If you fulfill the conditions, do they come off?
They have
Or
to be
do you have-
removed by someone
Okay.
at Nidal.
Oh yikes! So even if, because she has to return anyway. So
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah, because it can be like a technicality that you get into the region of Nidal, and then you're just like, well, I'm here, and then they just drop off.
She gets a year though.
Yeah.
Now there are people that you could probably find to remove them, but it's dangerous magic. I don't know if anybody here knows what happens when you destroy a magical item, but it can
They
be
can
any variety of
remove them.
things. Some of them will even explode. And that
That'll
would
work really well on her neck.
arguably even be worse than just regular killing, because that could kill anybody else in the vicinity as well, depending on the level of magic. So,
I just need an axe and head from neck. Boom.
boom.
Take it right off, put it back on, no problem.
Resurrection spell can be a thing. Can definitely be a thing. So yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. There was even some accusations there, right? Like we did see that Rye even drew his blade and said, you know, what's stopping me? What's stopping me? I could just solve this for us all right now. And she didn't like really make a threat. She made a promise. What was the promise that she said?
That people from Nidal would come looking for her.
An Evers army.
specifically.
An Evers army would come. And what was
And
scary
never
about the
stop.
Evers army is that they don't stop. They don't sleep. They don't eat. They don't shit. They just move and kill. Move and kill. That's it.
Like hellhounds, but for necromancers.
Sort of. Yeah. Sort of. So that, like, therein, like, that would be bad, right? Like, I think that you guys are willing to do anything to survive, but I don't think you're willing to condemn what remains of the town to that sort of gruesome and grisly death.
Maybe.
You don't know this group.
Bear in mind,
Oh,
Anybody?
we're not gonna let her stay in the town if she's still got that on her.
True.
For sure.
Anybody that dies by the Evers army joins the Evers army.
Looks like I'm safe, so.
We should go deliver
Damn.
her to Nadal ourselves, but just use it as a segue to sneak in and like go assassinate people and free her. Right, that'll work.
This is the paladin that every stream needs right here.
You go home for a moment,
Man.
go chill. Maybe your daughter's there.
Rye is
Wow.
so excited.
That's true. We
No,
did
that's
find
not-
out that Rye has
Yeah.
a child
Has a
who's
little
been
baby.
missing for 30 years or some shit.
Big Rye, little Rye. Yeah.
Rye has a daughter. Rye, you did say her name. I think it was like episode 2 or 3.
Temerity.
I did, yes.
Yeah,
When I was on death's door there for
Mhm.
a bit.
Yeah,
Um,
it was post poison suck.
yes, I would have to relook at my information
Yep.
to remember it. It starts with an I, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you said 2 names. You said 2
Correct.
names. I can't immediately remember them either, but yes, that you did say them. So
I'm
we had
pulling
that.
it up. It's been a little bit.
We had that information, and then we had the Peverin. Like that was the reason, right? It wasn't just return. She has to return with Peverin.
Yeah, that's not happening.
How many of you guys, speaking for your players, speaking for your characters right now, were prepared to leave last session before Zokar?
I mean, Oz was fine with leaving.
Nope. Wasn't gonna happen.
She's here for it.
Going down to Harrowstone by myself if I have to at this point.
100% there.
I'm way too committed and I've
Yeah.
given way too many people my word, and I'm also pissed off at those things messing with me.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go down swinging.
Was Rye prepared to leave last session before Zokar?
I believe that he was at the beginning of the episode, though I think he was swayed before that
Okay.
to stay before Zokar, but it definitely solidified it for sure.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting moment, well, for everybody really. It was an interesting moment.
I think it was
It added more baggage onto Rye's character than he might be comfortable with. However, like he's so sympathetic to plights dealing with Nadal, you know,
sure.
especially children, because he had, you know,
Yeah.
he had to give one up.
You empathize, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're right there. But at the same time, Zokar also facilitated. He's been here. He'd been listening. He heard of something that you had needed. Something that you said that you had needed so that you could get back to your daughter. Or at least try to find her. And he facilitated the best way they possibly could.
Yeah, there was a chest in his room, covered by stone or whatever, and the sheriff
Buried.
brought it back to us. It had documents. It had a Galarian mercantile marker, which is useful for probably Rye, and then merchant's documents and 1,000 gold.
Yeah, it was basically everything Rye was working towards when he was traveling with the dwarves.
Did you say and 1,000 gold?
Yeah.
No, it was worth 1,000.
You
Oh, worth
appraised
1,000
it.
gold.
Yeah, you appraised it
Okay.
for 1,000.
We're going shopping if we got 1,000.
I was gonna say.
Sorry,
You're all good. You asked to appraise it, and
my notes were not specific enough.
you valued it at about 1,000 gold. Zokar said that it wasn't as much valuable as it was to him because he couldn't read or write. He couldn't even sign the ledgers that he'd worked so hard for. These licensing, the permits to travel Galarian unattested, so long as he pays his dues. And he was set to be totally safe, and just going anywhere and everywhere. Now they're yours. Blank check. As long as you sign as a mercantile company or a sword company, a guild, you are free to move and maneuver anywhere. I'm interested to see what you guys do with that. No idea. Do you form a guild? Do you travel around? Do you become merchants and peddle the wares that you found in various places? what does that actually look like? I'm eager to see what this looks like. I know the utility of some of these, right? Eli has so much experience working for a blacksmith and selling goods. This isn't going to be entirely new for him, but would he take it to the road? Are you guys still going to work with each other, right?
Rye's the one that wants to do that.
Right.
But yeah,
We'll see.
maybe if we come out alive and in good standings.
We become a ghost exterminating group, and we go around from town to town liberating the place from ghost. Only I'm the only ghost, right? And we just keep making money off of people over and over and over again, while they pretend to exercise me.
That's a movie. It's called Frighteners with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, the only reason I have to travel around with him is to basically make sure he doesn't do anything absurdly evil. You know, since I
Do you
know
feel
that-
responsible for my evil?
Well,
now
if
that
I'm allowing you to live,
I like
then...
there's a scale. Like, oh, that's small evil. That's okay.
So if you let me go and I do something bad, you feel responsible. Do you feel responsible when I do bad things right now? Does your character? I mean,
I feel I feel responsible for the whole group a lot of the time. Yeah,
Interesting.
which is why I'm trying so hard to plug all the holes, and that's why I'm yelling at all of you.
You're playing the part of me at every convention when I'm with my friends. God, it's exhausting.
Walk around with a giant fence. Everyone stay inside the fence. No one leaves.
Well, I mean, the part I used to play, I can't do it anymore. Even playing the character. No, I think it's perfect for Eli.
It's a lot of
Love
work. It's way easier just to be like, yeah, let's just kill everybody. Let's just rob them and do whatever.
I'm curious though. What do you consider evil specifically?
I'll be right back. Keep up the conversation.
Killing innocents, for sure. Not protecting innocents. I'm all about protection and creation. That's what my god's all about. So
I mean, I don't know. Maybe, for example, a ghost trying to kill a kid in the middle of the street.
That's
That could be considered evil.
That at best is a misdemeanor. Okay.
Making sure that people get laid. I mean, that's more Pharasma, I guess, making sure people get laid to rest properly. But
Hey, I mean, it could be important to you too, even though it's.
So would someone self-serving be considered evil to you? Was the question.
No, because even under my own morals for Torag, it says that you can even lie if you have to. But it also says that if you give your word to do something like your oath, that you also have to honor it. But it says you can like fudge the truth if it's for like a greater good.
We were fudging the truth for the greater good.
You can lie if it's to protect
Were you?
another.
We were lying to protect
Just
you.
like when we didn't
Eli's
tell you what was
Minbari.
going on.
Thank you so much for protecting me from myself, guys.
Oz's
out of
Torek, that's a
curiosity-
plot twist.
Out of curiosity, what do you feel like the most evil thing Rye has done since you've known him?
I haven't seen you do anything. That doesn't mean it's not going on. And out of character, I know the shit you're doing. So you're hiding things from the group, like
I think if he
keys
saw you
and
do
pocket
something evil-
watches and
Like just full on. You think you can tunnel into him?
But that's just to
That would be the
that's
hammer.
just to have the advantage in the situation, right?
You were
I'm
thinking
quick
about
to
killing the
reveal.
dog.
I'm quick to reveal that I have these things when it makes sense to.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
haven't
but
done
Rye
anything
likes
too
to-
bad.
Rye doesn't like to have the, he doesn't like anybody. He doesn't want the rug pulled out from under him. So he likes to be on top. So if he finds something or he discovers something, he holds it close first.
It's good to
My
know.
god pretty much told me not to kill you. So it's like, I think there's like a greater purpose for not smiting you, but I don't know what it is. And that intrigues me as well to be like, oh yeah, you need some help with your caravan and finding your daughter, because that's like a benevolent purpose. But then also it's like, and I got my peepers on you, dude, because I know that there's some more going on to you than surface level. And I think it's just a matter of time before you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar.
Wasn't it revealed to Eli that at some point, Rye, you discussed your meeting with a professor, and even the truth of you meeting the professor came out about how you had arranged. Yeah. That I'm pretty sure that came out. Does anybody recall that?
Vaguely.
So, I know if
Oh,
Ron
you were
remembers
trying
it.
to dupe him, right? You were trying to dupe him.
Yep.
Yeah, he had actually arranged for the professor to get mugged and for him to walk in like some stoic hero to acquire his assistance or maybe loosen some coin. So like it feels like even from the very beginning, Rye's been like walking a path that seems to want to lean to the right side, but it's red hands, black deeds, right? He's trying to do what's right, but he just keeps getting caught up.
Yeah, it was I mean, until it was revealed, you know, that like I want to say Petros knew what Rye was doing. Rye thought he had him conned, you know, the whole time. Like up until like the day of arriving here, you know. So he was, you know, sort of on he was on weird terms with he thought that Petros thought he was a friend and he was using Petros, and Petros knew all along and still chose to help him.
Yeah.
So that affected Rye, because he's one of the few people that has helped him try to find his daughter. So
curiously enough, I've got to ask all the players here then, how many of you feel like you've been used by Petros?
Very transactional relationship.
I mean,
with
I'm
him,
here.
So not me.
Okay.
I'm in the town cleaning up his shit.
Sure. I mean,
That's fair too.
you could have left, right? You could have bounced. You didn't have to be here.
That money.
The money?
That's a lot of money.
It's a
Just
lot of
keeping
money.
Oz here. That money is gonna help Oz with his restaurant.
I mean, money's great, but I gave my word, so I'm pretty much stuck.
Sure.
Once that
And
happens.
maybe woo his love.
That's right. We'll find out more about that. So let's kick off our tale. Now that we've had that was a pretty huge recap, and a lot of it was just mostly like feeling out how the players feel about the situation more than the actual characters. So I want to start today here, and I'm actually gonna allow my man here, Torvin, Wyld. I'm passing the stick to you. The session ended with you guys deciding to make a camp just outside of town. This is your forte. It's your area of expertise. The others probably would have done this many times before, but like, this is quite literally your job. I want to pass this to you. You tell me what this looks like. If you've asked anybody to set up anything, or if you're taking the lead, by all means.
I'll definitely be taking the lead. Let's scout the area forward as we come in. I want a spot that's visible to the road, that we can see the road, but we're protected.
Okay.
I want a spot that we can actually remove any light. So if we have a fire up, we can remove that instantly as needed.
What would you
I
use?
also want to have it. Sorry?
To dampen the flame, what would you use? Like
Bucket of
saltpeter? So, okay, bucket of water, all right,
Yeah,
gotcha.
dirt next to it. You know, you dig into a hole anyway to have it, so you can just dirt over it.
Sure. Okay. Did you ask anybody, like maybe, would we see you asking Eli to cut wood for fire, or would we see you asking for like, should we get food, or who is occupying what roles in camp, right? Like, it's not everybody just kind of sit up on a log and hope for the best.
I'd approach the right area, the safest spot that would make more tactical sense, and just gather around. This is where we stood.
Okay.
We'll need wood.
Oz will focus on like cooking and like the campfire.
Okay.
Not going to get the wood, but
what's-
once the wood is delivered to him.
What's dinner look like, Oz?
I don't know. What do we got?
Have a little fun with it.
We had a recipe for wolf balls.
Do you have a recipe for wolf balls?
Yeah, well,
If,
kind of
if we have the ingredients, he would he would
Yeah,
make
we don't
wolf
have
balls.
the chicory for a start.
It's true. You lack the hickory chips. But what's a go-to? What's an Oz favorite?
Probably some kind of stew, like rabbit stew
Okay. All right.
with some veg.
Chicken stew.
I think chicken stew's all right too.
Poor Pecker.
egg drop soup.
Damn. Poor Peck. Rye, how about you? What does this look like for you? You see that Oz is manning the fire. It looks as if Torvin is scouted, found a spot that seems as suitable for your needs as possible. What is Rye up to?
And am I assuming that Peverin is with us and her name is
Kendra?
Jamenda, yeah. I
Jamenda.
think Jamenda was coming with us. Yeah.
I mean, unless otherwise asked, she can still technically stay where she is.
She was gonna help us with she said she was useful, is what she said.
She needs to sell us some potions that she wasn't willing to sell us earlier. Because she was like, I'll just identify yours. I'm not going to sell you any. There's
Yeah, I think that's more
for
than
special
fair,
reserve.
considering the moment.
Okay.
It's like, oh yeah, well, you got crazy shackles on you now, lady. So
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to establish. Did she come? Because I was under the impression that they would travel with us last time.
was
but if
too.
I'm wrong about that,
Okay.
I had the
then
same impression.
Group call. If you guys think that she's there, then she's there. So then
I
sure,
would've-
Jaminda's there.
well, Rye wouldn't leave her with Peverin alone. Either way, at
right.
this point.
In case you got any ideas.
Okay.
Well, Rye, if she was there, Rye would be watching her and Peverin. He would definitely be like, just me mugging, like eyeballing hard, like the lazy eye from Fievel Goes West.
Oh God.
Okay.
Perfect.
So you don't trust her intentions then?
Yeah, how could we? How could he? How could he have like an agent of Nadal so close to what would be a child that he's just been like basically charged with protecting now? You know? Like how could he feel safe?
It's fair. She hasn't technically lied to anybody. In fact, she was
No.
very forthright and becoming in the honesty.
Desperate people do desperate things, and she's a woman in a desperate situation.
Also fair.
And Rye understands that.
Sure. So you're just watching essentially. You're
Yep.
posting up.
Yep.
Okay. How about Eli? What is Eli doing?
Yeah, I'll get the wood. Need lots of firewood.
Okay.
You know, if we're gonna have a fire going through the night anyway, probably need like a good couple feet.
Sure. Temerity.
So I don't know how loud we want me to be though, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're outside
I
of
can
town.
either I can like cut some logs, or I can just collect, bigger chunks, dead debris, whatever.
You tell me.
Whatever works.
Just gather. Just
What?
gather.
You want to just gather?
Yeah, gathering's probably quieter than
Sure. Give me a survival.
attacks. Ooh, I don't know if I'm too hot at that. Let's see. It's base. That's awful.
Not great.
Your survival depends on you walking around and picking up sticks, and you're like,
Man.
damn it, I can't.
Oh, these aren't
quite-"
burning. These are too fresh. They're not dead enough. They're not burning well.
That's green.
Making
It's
too much
not gonna-
smoke.
I like it.
He only has one eye, so he can't really see the.
Sure.
Still
Sure.
getting used to having just one
Yeah, the
eye
depth
too.
perception.
I
Maybe at
roll
nighttime
my
is
dwarvish
used.
eyes and go and give you some assistance.
Okay. You go ahead and give me survival, please. Let's see what you can do here. You see that he's gathered a bundle of sticks, and you similarly find much of the same.
I'm
Wet.
not going to do a
lot of-
reroll. That's it. No, we're here now.
Everything is so.
Rye walks up,
drenched.
always the hero, and rolls survival to help his friends who clearly.
Are you
No, I'm
actually
just
though,
kidding.
or are you
No,
watching?
No, no. I'm
What?
joking. I'm
How is
watching.
the
Charity
wood all
needs to do
green?
Everything here
Show
is.
him how it actually is done.
It's soaked. It's you realize, right? Like you recognize it's been
Raining.
raining almost constantly since you've been here, so dry wood is rather sparse.
Oh, that's true. It has been raining.
You look under the wet to get to the dry.
Nah, I'm not used to all of this this rain. Everything's so wet. Gonna have to get a lot of tinder going to dry these things off. Stop. I see
I said, dry your firewood next to the fire.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was cracking me up.
Temerity.
Sorry, I was
Basically,
imagining
well,
you.
you stack it up next to it, the one you got going, and couple hours. It's good to burn.
I
I've
like
done
that
in real
they
life.
come over with like a couple twigs, and then Temerity just comes over there and fucking drops it. It's like this huge log of wood, like a
Temerity.
badass. She's such a badass. Just like step on me.
Oh, damn it.
Again?
Okay.
So you're helping then, I'm guessing.
Me? Well, so I would have been like setting up the camp. I'm kind of in my own little world. Like I'm still really affected by what happened.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Like the guy I just offed by mistake that we liked, it was like, hey, everything's fine. And we were talking about it before we started. And there's like a certain level of flagellation you want if you make for some guilty people. Like if you do something unintentional, you want to feel a little bad for it because you feel bad. And so to get some absolution from him almost makes her feel a little worse, at least for the short term. So she's just kind of minding her own business, keeping to herself. But I guess she would notice them finding a bunch of green wood and just like look around from where she stands helping set up the camp and just kind of like point to where I'm sorry, my dog thinks I'm pointing at him. Like he just made the funniest noise. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, so she'll just kind of like point until like one of them makes eye contact and be like,
okay.
And then just go back to like arranging camp and making it, I don't know, as homey as possible for a temporary camp.
Sure. Temerity points to an overhang. It looks like there was a larger tree that had fallen into another one, creating this almost a steeple over the top of it, preventing rainfall from dropping down over some loose timber. Just kind of points after a while of getting your attention, and you're able to pick that up.
Do we have like a tent, or are we just going to be like bed rolling around the fire?
That's entirely up to you guys. The elements can be rough. Sleeping in the elements can be rough. If you are not properly protected, exhaustion can set in. Especially if you
don't have a tent, but I would like to sleep in one.
Yes, you might be able to make do. I'm curious. So the last person here, Tripp. What is Tripp doing? I want to know what Tripp is doing in this situation. The food is being made. A few people are trying to set up camp and find firewood. Rye is mean mugging and flexing on Jamenda right now. What is Tripp up to?
I mean, kind of seeing everyone kind of camping about. He kind of starts, in a sense, trying to mimic what they're doing, but trying to see if maybe he had some affinity for survival at any point. But like as he starts looking around, he kind of just everything just kind of seems, like green plants and dirt. He sees Temerity point off into the distance where the other tree had fallen, but yeah, same thing. He's still kind of like at a loss for words. He doesn't really know what to do. I would say at this point, given the situation that recently transpired with Zokar, the noise in his mind has quieted down a bit.
Sure.
But he still feels the heaviness of it all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you can kind of like hear Tripp muttering to himself every once in a while, like, it's okay, shh. Like he's trying to still console the soul of Pevrin. So it's like his focus is completely split between trying to remember who he is and trying to make sure this kid's, emotionally and mentally and spiritually intact when all is said and done.
He's gonna need some therapy, man. He's lived through some shit in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on with him. So you could tell like he's distracted with a multitude of things, but it's not like his awareness for sure is not anywhere like in regards to this campsite in particular, if that makes any sense.
Pecker will go over, and you can be petting Pecker. Little extra comfort.
Okay.
Hey there, and kind of kneels down and starts patting Pecker on the head.
Okay.
Are our plans to go to Harrowstone like after we camp and rest? Like
we need to find the warden.
I think you guys had talked, right? Still, it's up to you entirely, but you guys had talked at this point about resting to return health, to get skills back, spells, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think we're
to get out of the town.
I think that's why we're camping like outside of the town for the most
well,
part.
depending on how far we are away, like I probably would have. I mean, I wanted to bring the professor's remains with us to drop off on the way to the Restland, so I just want to make sure that I can drag or carry that chest with that's wrapped in rope.
Okay.
With us, just
Sure.
Just to make sure we get it done and it's not like forgotten about.
I got you. It's a little heavy, a little cumbersome. It's adding about, I don't know, 40-ish pounds additional to whatever you're dragging behind you already. So you're fairly encumbered, right? Like, it's not like lifting the coffin. The coffin was exceptionally heavy, and there was a point where you did that by yourself. You just held it in place. So it's a little lighter for sure. The professor was also a little worse for wear this go around.
Yeah, she's in pieces, so
yeah.
The actual remains shouldn't be too much, but yeah.
It's a very ragtag
deserves
scenario.
To be buried.
Right? I'm just like picturing this in my mind. Everybody's very shaken. You know, the last like literal week has been probably hell for most of you. Probably a normal job for some of you. And it might just remind you of home for others. But it's cold. It's moist. You found some dry wood. You lack a lot of your basic equipment. Jaminda is just sitting there, and she's kind of waiting. She's sitting on what looks to be like a log or a hill, and she's kind of like brought her knees up and wrapped her arms around them, so she's locked her hands. And she's just kind of waiting. While she's not saying anything, she's definitely picking up on the vibe that's being put down by Rye.
I pick up like a nearby piece of wood and pull out my dagger and just start whittling it.
Sure.
Still eyeing her.
Okay, Temerity, you can also sense this tension. You are a queen at reading the room, right? It's kind of your job as an inquisitor. You've got to pick up on these things. You've got to know exactly how to interrogate individuals. And she's scared. You can tell that Rye's not particularly helping the situation, but nothing is nearly as daunting as the threat of Nadal. I think that's why Rye is the way that he is here. While the others are kind of gathering and doing their thing, do you say anything else?
Yeah. I'm trying to decide who I want to disrupt. If I want to go protect her or distract him. So I'm going to go over to Rye and kind of block his field of vision, but not like super obviously.
Sure.
Right? And just kind of what are you making?
Haven't quite decided yet. I'm just kind of like trying to maybe peek a little past her, like lean back, so maybe I can get a different, view.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give you too much attention.
I'll make it real obvious that I know what you're doing, but not say anything, and just kind of get back in your field of vision.
You lean right into his
right.
view.
Like,
into his face.
Yeah, right. On the second time, Rye realizes this is not just a curiosity, walking up being curious thing. This is like a
right.
So I lock eyes with you, like
right. Okay, good, because I was going to bring out the tail. So, you sure? Anything useful? Anything helpful? Anything relevant to the situation?
she's a liability.
We're all liabilities right now.
Not like her.
Not like me. Not like you. Not like the boy. She can make potions, right?
Yes.
She has uses that we could leverage. We don't know exactly what we're going into, but we know it's bad. And if we have another set of hands that can help us, especially one so uniquely motivated.
I mean, she can mix a potion or two, great. But She doesn't serve anybody but Nadal.
Is that where your ire is coming from? Because it doesn't seem like she's served Nadal very well in the past. Look over to Peverin. What are you, 14?
He's 11.
Oh my god! And I have no idea. Like, even in real life, I can't age kids. I mean, in the past 11 years or so, she hasn't served Nadal at all.
Some people lack proper motivation.
Well,
she seems properly motivated now.
then let's let her be properly motivated while we figure out a game plan and how she fits in.
You know, I don't know anything about inquisitions. Did you know that?
Most people don't.
It seems to me that you don't know anything about Nadal.
Most people don't.
So maybe we should both stay in our lanes.
Has that stopped either one of us before?
Well, not with you.
Nope. And not with you. Regardless, I don't think that we know enough to know if you're right or wrong here, but we do know that what you're doing isn't helping anything. She's just basically terrified over there.
Torvin, Eli, perception. Oz, you can hear this going on.
Well, are you going to keep an eye on her?
I think we can all keep an eye on her.
Eli, you can tell that there's being a sharing of words, but you're not quite making it all out. Torvin, you can hear it.
Oz will finish up making one of the dishes, and I guess probably there's like a bunch of makeshift silverware and like cups and bowls, so not everyone has the same one. It's like everyone has something different. Kind of scoops up some cups and walks over and hands it to the two of them. But before he hands it to them, he gives one to Jamenda. Yeah, he can pour some in for Torvin's mug. Hopefully breaking up some tension with some good food.
Food does tend to do that. Tripp, you realize it's been some time since you've actually eaten yourself. Additionally, Peverin's not really had much of an appetite, but the body hungers. You hear the burble and the growl of the stomach. Jamenda at this point has even also taken notice of the food. It's got a nice smell. Does everyone gather for food at this point? Or do the conversations remain heavy and continue?
I'll take the food, and I'll, since there's a little bit of distance and knowing how Rye is when people touch him, I'll swing the tail around and give him a little pat on the shoulder with it, because I think it's articulated enough to do that.
Okay.
And just, we're on the same team.
Do you say that?
Yeah.
We're on the same. Oh. No doubt. And he looks at you and he gives you a wink.
She'll take the mug from Oz and thank him and return the wink and just bottoms up.
Okay.
I'm just gonna quietly eat food because I've caused enough trouble, and so far, unless somebody specifically wants to engage with me.
Sure.
Torvin's keeping his eyes away from the fire to keep night vision.
I gotcha.
Tripp will pick up Pecker and struggle to walk him back over to Oz, because I'm assuming Pecker is like
Enormous.
3 pounds?
Quite
he's
rotund.
huge. Yeah, he's struggling, but he walks over and goes, ooh. Ooh. Wow, you're a heavy bird.
Well, he does know how to walk.
Right. I thought it was more of
But if you carry him, he likes that.
noted. There you go. And he pats Pecker on the head again. Thank you for walking with me. And thank you for letting him keep me company. It really does mean a lot.
Well, he tends to find himself in those positions all the time. Those are the kind of folks who like to pet him the most, I feel like. It's pretty soft.
Yes. Rather comfy, like a pillow almost. And he like takes Pecker and like puffs the sides. He gives Oz and Pecker a polite bow, and then he takes a bowl for himself. And
Yeah, Oz will hand him a bowl. I
he'll-
know you
he'll
may
sit by the
not be
fire.
that hungry, but just try to eat what you can.
Me, I haven't been hungry for anything in, well, ever that I know of. But he does. He needs it, and at the very least, I know he doesn't want to, but since I'm making the calls right now, I think it'd be best for him to get some nutrition.
Well, you're gonna need it if planning to do what we're planning to do tomorrow.
With any luck, he'll be free of me sooner rather than later. With that being said, give him some equipment, possibly. Make sure it's at the ready, so if I happen to leave sooner than expected, he can at least get back to Raven's Grove on his own.
Nods, nods. I'll make sure of it.
Thank you. And after I'm smitten, smoked, destroyed by, and he kind of looks back over to Temerity and then back over to Eli. If you can find a gravestone or something with my name, or just make one, that'll mean a lot. I know I don't remember who I am, but it'd be just nice to be remembered.
Oz nods.
Rarity nods too.
I don't think you'll ever be forgotten. But I guess I don't understand the afterlife thing. I guess I never really believed in any of that stuff, but that brings you peace.
It would. And to be fair, I don't understand being dead either. It's troublesome. Like trying to scratch an itch that you just can't quite reach. I'm sorry to
I
take
hate
your
when
time.
that happens.
Indeed. I'll sit over here. And he kind of points off to a small area just next to the fire and takes a seat. Still staying relatively close to Pecker just to try to keep some warmth from the fire and using him as like a slight wind buffer.
Of course.
Yeah.
Time begins to trail on. The night grows long. The fire seems to sort of flicker and lower. Does anybody continue putting tinder upon the fire, any more logs, or do you just let it burn out of its own volition?
I would. One, just because I don't want to risk Pepper getting sick, and if any of the other guys are up, I would probably take either first or second watch with one of them if we were doing rotations with that at all.
Sure.
I'll sleep first if I can.
Okay. Who is taking first watch?
I'll be a part of it, or if I'll do it on my own, then that's fine. I can do it.
Okay. I have a feeling that they're not just going to let you maintain first watch alone. I could be wrong.
I think Torvin wanted first watch, right?
Torvin's going to sleep first
Second,
and then take second
yeah.
Oh,
watch.
you wanted to sleep first. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rye's more of a middle of the night. He's more of a second watch.
watch.
Kind of guy. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, solo.
Okay.
I'll sit with him. I don't trust that. I'll take the first one so I can sleep the rest of the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Oz would honestly sleep the entire time.
All right. Then, let's see. Fire's still burning.
Bub, real quick though, if they're, I mean, assuming I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but if things are calm by the time I'm done with my second watch, I would like to do something.
Sure, I got you. Just interject at any point before the night's over and just
Sure.
let me know. I will give some circumstance bonus here. I want to say that because you have 2 people on watch, because there is a fire burning, and one of the people on watch is a paladin, I will say that you're going to decrease your encounter chance by 25%. So I need a 35% chance that you do not want. Either from Eli or Tripp.
Eli, you go ahead and pick it.
35% chance for what now? What do I do?
35% chance
want.
that you do not want.
To happen or
Not to happen. So like you pick a number range from, like, you can say like 1 to 35, and then as long as it doesn't roll on the 100-sided dice within that range, we're okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You just pick a number range.
Yep, pretty much.
For 35.
Yeah,
So 34 is 69.
you got it. So I roll in that, then something happens. Something might already happen, but this could make it worse or better. Oh, man.
Oh baby.
Wait,
The
where?
34.
You said 34 to
wait.
69, and it rolled a 33.
Oh, I missed the 33. Okay, that's what I'm missing here.
Wow. Okay, very good. Very good.
Wow.
Clutch.
Torvin, Rye, for second watch, you don't have a paladin. Do you keep the fire going?
That's up to Torvin.
I put the fire down.
Put the fire down. Okay. Give me a 55% range that you do not want.
We'll go nice and earlys.
Okay. 1 to 55. Very good. Very good. All right. First encounter. Tripp, Eli, first watch. The 2 of you are sitting while the others rest. I imagine that there are bedrolls. I'm not sure who has a tent, but if you have any abnormal sleeping patterns, then discuss that now. If not, then forever hold your peace.
Tripp probably would have had a bedroll.
Okay.
I don't think he'd be strong enough to carry a full tent set up on his back.
All right. Then Eli and Tripp. You're sitting there across each other from the fire. The fire flickers. It's still bright and strong. Tripp continues to pour tinder or log upon it just to keep it bright, so he seems to take very careful aim at protecting Peverin. Is there any conversation between the 2 of you?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done
Definitely
this.
wanted to ask him something after overhearing his conversation. So I'll sit there, probably wait for, make sure everybody's, that's sleeping is snoozing, and I'll look over at him and I'll say, you really expect me to believe that you're just gonna give up that body after we're done in Harrowstone and you're just gonna go peacefully?
I would hope so, that he could. I mean, I want to leave peacefully, but that's. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know what's going to happen once I get back to Harrowstone.
I just find it hard to believe that the person inhabiting his body, with all of these other spirits vying for control, is just going to freely exit some benevolent decision and just go to rest.
I mean, I don't know the process of it all, to begin with. I'm hoping that maybe once I get back, if my remains are destroyed or purified, I can leave with no problems, but...
You have no desire to keep the child's body for yourself, for your own purposes, to be among the living still?
None that I could feel currently, no.
I sense motive him.
Shit. Lie through your teeth if you want.
Seems to be totally honest.
Yeah, there's no like faltering of the like of his facial expressions or anything. He seems pretty genuine with the statement.
All right, well, I saw how you froze up in the town hall. And if you're going to be going to Harrowstone, I don't know what we're going to do with you. If we're going to bring you to protect you, or if we're going to try to leave you somewhere, stash you. It seems like a lot of people are after this boy for whatever reason. And we need to know that you're not going to just freeze up under pressure again. You have to be able to get him to safety.
What I saw, what caused me to froze up was a fragment of my past. You wanted open and honest, so this is me giving you that answer right now. To be frank, I don't know how it triggered so fast. I'm assuming it was the fire or the smoke, maybe a combination of both, but I remembered the feeling of turning into this, the agony of it all, calling for help, the helplessness, the feeling that help was never going to come. It happened in an instant. I froze up. I don't know what to tell you. I apologize for doing so, but even had that not been the case, I still wouldn't have went in. I would have done everything to get him out above keeping any of you safe. And that's no offense to any of you.
Well, the safest place for him is within arm's reach of the group, which may still not be that safe, but it's all we've got right now. The next time that you feel something like that start to overtake you, that fear start to grip your mind, I want you to think about those other prisoners, the other ghosts, and how they called you a coward. And I want you to use that and let that feed you and try to pull you out of that paralyzing fear.
You already saw what happened the first time I gave into that emotion.
Just saying, don't let your peers be right about you. You still have a chance. You're still in the living plane right now, and what your actions are going to create ripples. So you have a chance to redeem yourself and to not be known as a coward in your final time.
Eli, give me a diplomacy, please.
Sure.
It's really, really good, actually. Tripp, you feel like for the first time, you don't feel like you're being immediately, one, threatened, right? You don't feel like he's about to smite you if you say the wrong thing. It feels like he's giving you advice. But this doesn't feel like the wizened old mentor, right? This almost looks like somebody else who has gone through something similar, and he's speaking from experience. He is also being very genuine in this moment.
I'll take your words to heart. And hopefully when the time is right that I won't come up short with my actions. But I won't lie, I'm also afraid of possibly figuring out what I am. The ghost did call me a coward, but I still fear that maybe I could turn out to be one of them. Maybe I'm one of those famous murderers, but I just don't remember who I am.
I don't think so. They seem to be toying with you just as much and delighting in your suffering just as much as us. But who knows? All I know is if you want to be remembered and you don't want to be remembered as a coward, then you need to have heroic acts. And if you can do that, then as you requested earlier from Temerity, I'll make sure that you have a grave and you're not forgotten.
Thank you.
You can have a legacy to be proud of.
A short one, but I agree. Hopefully one that I am proud of by the end of it.
Well, you know what they say, the brightest stars burn out fastest. I'll leave the conversation on that, I think, that note.
And the conversation trails to its end. Time still ticks by. The tension is still there, but it's not necessarily between the two of you. It's just what awaits you miles down the road. Is it some creepy crawly, a figure of undeath waiting? Is it Nadal that seems to be ever lurking at your backs? Or is it Harrowstone watching? Each window peering out like eyes. You realize your watch comes to an end. Torvin seems to be coming to rise first. Rise shortly after. You switch. You're here and your watches now. I give you the report. Nothing of interest really occurred. Idle chatter at best. Torvin and Rye. In second watch. In those early hours of the morning, or late of night, depending on what type of person you are. You can't help but shake that something, someone, somewhere is watching, discussing, plotting. Both of you feel this. And to echo what was said previously, could be anything, could be anyone. You've both felt this for a while, even since entering the town. Is there any conversation between the two of you over the fire, or at least what remains of the fire before it's put out?
Do you have your smokes?
Oh, I do like remove the flame, but I make sure that I extend out the heat, the coal bed, so we still do have some radiant heat over the last of the morning.
Okay. Do you sit near each other, or is it like a crossfire?
I would actually sit next to you. If I'm sharing tobacco, I'm not gonna handle it over the fire. So yeah, I'll sit next.
Yeah.
So you sit there. You find a comfortable spot between the two of you. Make sure that you're sharing some body heat, and you share what you can over this pipe.
Looking at everybody to make sure they're asleep, seeing things are okay, they're breathing evenly.
Seems fine. Calm before the storm. You get that sensation.
Yeah, is Rye, I'm assuming you offered him some smoke, right?
Oh, yes.
He lights it and takes a couple puffs, sitting next to Torvin. And I think that sentiment is kind of heavy on Rye's shoulders right now, like you said, like calm before the storm. And he just comes out with this very strange question for Torvin. He just says, "You ever been in love?"
Sort of.
Rye
I
takes
mean, like,
another puff.
For my mommy, but
What about Dwarven women? Or men? And he gives you a look.
I've just never really had the time.
You probably made the right choice. Rye just keeps looking out, keeps puffing.
Have you ever been in love?
I think so. Maybe obsessed is a closer word. Takes a few more puffs.
We'll see, I've had that a few times, but yeah.
I tend to choose the wrong ones. He laughs a little bit to himself. Takes another puff.
It's good you had the choice, though.
Can I tell you something, Torvin? Because I may not tell anyone after tomorrow.
One more thing.
I looks over and sees where Jaminda's at. What's she doing? Is she asleep? What's she up to?
Oh, fuck.
She's sleeping.
I can't believe you've done this.
She's lying probably opposite the fire at this point. She's wrapped up in a blanket and the messings of her dress at this point. Whatever you guys had shared with her, she didn't really have a lot of traveling gear.
I look back at Torvin. Do you know what a ASMR is?
No.
Well, I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it for myself, but some people, apparently, are the descendants of angels. Can you believe that?
We've got a tail. Somebody with a tail in our group. Look, there's lots of people out there.
You know, Eli over there, if he had his way, and maybe if you had your way, maybe there'd be members of this party that, you know, maybe wouldn't have made it this far. That kind of racism, which is what it is, extends to other races as well, you know, even an adult. Can you imagine what it's like to be the descendant of an angel, in the middle of that place, that godforsaken place? But they exist. They do. They're not full, but they are descendants. Sometimes their eyes glow. Sometimes they sprout. Wouldn't say they're horns. It's almost like they're reaching up to hold a halo. Wings, or one wing, or half a wing. I didn't know, but the girl I fell in love with, she was one of these people. One of these kind. And I didn't know it until we had a child together. They took her from me, but I kept the child. And it wasn't until 4 months later, when her eyes started to glow, that I realized I had to get her out in a doll. I had a friend named Taggart. He was a merchant, made stops, one of the few that were allowed to travel in a doll, which was surprising to me. And about a week after her eyes started to glow, I gave her up. I gave up my little Araya. I wasn't able to escape for years later, but I've been looking for her ever since. I don't know what happened to her. I didn't see Taggart again. I came here trying to become a merchant so I could travel and look for him. Someone had to have heard his name. He was higher up. He had to be to travel to Nadal. But everybody seems to not know who he is. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I guess I just haven't really told a soul. And I just feel like I might not get the chance. But if one of us was going to survive this, it'd be you. And he looks over at Torvin. You don't have to do anything with your life that you don't want to. But if you do happen to be traveling, you find a girl with glowing eyes, I don't know. Maybe ask her name? If you would.
Aye, son, I'll do that.
Red takes another hit, kind of leans back. And if we do survive this, I expect you never to mention it again.
Only until you do.
He nods.
Does it hang there for a while between the two of you? Any more conversation?
Not
I
from
need
Rye.
to speak to you just on a sly. I don't think we're gonna come out of this either. But we're going to. And we may lose people, things. I point over to Jorinda with my pipe. Baggage. Things will happen. We'll get through it.
Haven't said we too often. I haven't lost hope. I think we got a shot. Maybe we got a shot. He looks over at Pevrin.
Pevrin lies motionless. Not too far from you, probably within 7 or 8 feet. The two of you sit there, staring off, sort of watching the people around you, admiring what remains of the fire as it seems to peter out. Still keeping a vigilant watch around the area to make sure that nothing sort of sneaks up on you when that silence is shattered. Just behind both of you, a long draw of breath. Do either of you turn, or do you freeze?
I grab the hatchet and spin around.
Rye?
I freeze. Actually.
Okay. Torvin. Some people are fight or flight. In this moment, it has defined what type of person you are. And you can also see in this moment that knee-jerk for some people might also just be very still. Rye falls into that position at this moment, and as you turn, you're greeted by the apparition of a beautiful woman with a long, loose-fitting dress with hair that flows down her back, blue. But the longer you watch, you can see it just starts to float and rise above, almost as if it's floating in water. Her eyes are white, completely devoid of any color. And she seems to flicker. It's like a pitch shift and flicker, almost as if she might be fading from this space.
I've come to warn you. can't be long.
Her head turns to fall over Temerity.
I said I would return, but I cannot stay for long. They're pulling me back. A prisoner. I've discovered what they're doing. They're breaking his spirit. They're twisting him. They're using him so that he can become a butcher. They wish to trap me, enslave me, and have me slain by my own husband.
Her voice seems to tighten up at the mention of husband.
I can feel them pulling me back now.
Do you have a safe space? Is there a chapel?
She seems to tighten her lips, and she just shakes her head no.
I learned as much as I could before I was found. The woman, she said to discover what I could on the prisoners. And I found this so much. Please, I can recall something very small before I return.
She believes that you can ask a question of any prisoner. Any prisoner.
I'm gonna leave this to the note-mancers.
Rye. You notice that there is a stark removal of audibility from Torvin, who normally has much to say. And though you froze looking at Peverin, knowing that a prisoner occupies his body. A prisoner you know nothing about. You know that there's at least one major prisoner that you have discovered nothing about. But I'm leaving this to you, not the note takers.
Mm-mm. I feel like it's such a big question.
It is.
Like there's so much we can do with it.
It is.
I feel like I'll waste it. I feel like I'll
you know
fuck it
what?
up.
I'm here for the table talk, right? You guys can table talk
Okay.
and make that decision, but you are the one that gets the overall decision here, Rye. So by all means, you guys discuss it. Figure it out. If you want to talk it out to figure out what your last question is.
I think he was referring to Tripp, but
Yes.
there's also the
Father
Charlatan, who we don't know much about as well.
Mm.
And also, you could try to see if any of them. Well, is it about the prisoner, or is it? See if Gorovin is involved at all somehow, maybe.
Well, the warden is who we need to find.
Absolutely.
That's like, if she knows where he's at, we need to go. That's who we are trying to
Yeah.
find.
When you say prisoner, do you mean of Harrowstone, or do you mean just of these people? Like she's a prisoner.
Temerity asked Vesoriana to discover what she can about the prisoners of Harrowstone.
Okay.
That was before you arrived, when we found out that you had like a bunch of souls linked to you. It was
Correct.
like during that time. That was many episodes ago.
Mhm.
Yes. I remember. I mean, I would love to know what's up with Tripp. I mean, that would be one huge, maybe a weight lifted off of our shoulders, maybe a weight placed upon our shoulders, but truth either way, Because he did try to kill a kid. He has been running around with this, like, he's saved
Yeah.
me. You know, so.
We were told he evaded taxes, but.
Yeah.
So if
I think
it's,
you
if that's
picked
actually
you
what it
wanted.
was, it might be a waste of a question, but if there's more.
I don't think it would ever be a waste of a question.
All right. Right points. He just stops. And he doesn't even think. He's still kind of frozen. And he's been, like, you're right, he's been staring at Peverin. And he just sort of points and just absentmindedly just says, I want to know whatever you can tell me about him.
Okay. Did you turn to face her?
No.
Okay. Torvin. With that and a flash, it is instantaneous, almost horrifying by nature. A normal person couldn't do this, but a Spectre from beyond could. There's a flash, and you quickly see her hands move around his head and grab at his temples to clutch his face. I need a fortitude and a will save.
Oh, lordy.
Oh boy. You have both of your rerolls, right?
I do? Why can't... Oh, there we go.
Do you need that from both of us?
Just him.
Okay.
You said a fortitude and
then
a
a
will
will.
save, right?
Yep.
All right. We'll go with the bad one first.
Not
Bam.
bad. 19.
Very good. Very good.
There we go. And then I'll go with the
RNG
4.
wants to tell a story. 6.
You want to re-roll it? You've got 2
Yeah,
luck
I'm going to
re-rolls.
re-roll that. Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
re-roll that
Nice,
one.
just taketh away.
Nice.
That's much better. You were able to remove any following day's shaken effects and fatigue. When you were hit with a rapid wave of emotions and then a first-hand recount of experiences of what she was able to gather, you're quickly seeing through her eyes. You're in some sort of storeroom that seems to be what looks like it's a smoke-filled storeroom. There's no light whatsoever, but every time her eyes peer over this area, you see new information. These bits of like leaflets of paper seem to be strewn about very, very quickly before you finally fall onto a document, and it's about this man. All you're getting is an, in quotations, Tripp. That's what you see. You don't actually get a name. You get what he's been dubbed by the guards and the prisoners. Everyone refers to him as Tripp. His information has been written off. You don't get an age. You don't get a location. You don't even get his race. You know that he's a half-elf. But all that's there says Tripp and the real reason that he's been put into prison. The reason that he was put into prison: he was thumbed. He was named as someone that was basically in cahoots for money laundering. He was wrapped up for laundering and thumbed by someone else. And the person who built the prison took a payoff. They took a payoff so that he could come to jail in the place of the noble that should have been here instead. Tripp is completely innocent.
Well, he was, so he tried to kill that kid.
Truth.
God
is-
damn.
He's a convict of no mortal crimes. And the worst thing about it, there are multiple guards that signed off on this, so every guard knew. Interestingly enough, there is no warden sign-off. And as you're wrapping up this document, reading over these details and playing them over and over in your head, the eyes keep flickering, and it's like you're there reading over this yourself, and you can hear her own shaken breathing consistently. This. And then as you're waiting, you're trying to get to the end of this, you hear another voice. At the door, a rattle, a
Come on. Come on, little bird.
Come outside. Come play with us. You know we've been waiting for you.
She tries to glance over her shoulder before you hear the cage open, the sound of a jarring door, before inevitably your sight is gone. Torvin. She is no longer there. She wisps away. Like a foggy wind. And thus returns the sight. Rye, you continue to stare at Pevrin.
Did everybody experience this?
Did
No.
you see that?
Just you.
Did you see it?
The wispy lass.
I turn around and stare at Torvin. I assumed it was her, but I didn't see her. I was looking at Pevrin. I was thinking about Tripp.
Oh.
Did you hear her offer?
Did you? What did? What?
He's innocent, Torvin. Tripp is innocent.
Well, that's a large word.
It is.
Is he?
He's innocent of the crimes which placed him in the prison, I would say. She showed me this. I reach up and kind of feel around my temples. It's like she reached into my head. I'm like trying to shake it off. But she told me he's innocent. He worked for some noble. Sounds like he took the fall. But it wasn't signed off on by the warden.
Aye.
But the guards knew. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
The first rays of light seem to flicker to the treetops at this point. Fog seems to be setting in over the area. Morning is upon you.
Rye's kind of a little bit at a loss. Should we? Is it like early enough to get started? Yeah. Rye just starts, doing, that mood. You ever been camping? That mood at like 5 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m. when you're just starting to wake up. Just little stirrings in the camp. The fire camp's the smoke is wispy. It's very calm. Maybe hear some animal noise, that kind of thing. He's just kind of moving between the camp like he normally would, kind of getting ready a little bit. Maybe making a little more noise than he should to kind of get people up around him.
Everybody begins they begin to stir, right? You guys start to stir awake. You can hear Rye moving and maneuvering around the campsite at this point.
Getting some water on.
And immediately start cooking breakfast.
Need some good tea.
I don't stir.
That's the longest respite I think we've had this entire time.
Tripp's body just like sits up because he's like sleeping. He technically was sleeping with just his eyes open.
Like a mummy,
He just sits up.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Does Perrin even really need to sleep if his conscience is resting the entire time? You see what I'm
His
saying?
body does.
The body
So
does.
Yeah.
Does it? Because humans don't actually even really need sleep. There's no actual like
No, that's
like
just you, Cobalt. You're a freak.
I was gonna say I disagree. I
No,
think
there's
I need
actually-
sleep. Actually,
but there's no like scientific reason for why. Like nobody knows why we need to sleep. Like I don't know.
I just know I need to.
And if his conscious is, like getting that mental break and in down, I figured like he might not even ever need it. He'll need food, but
Cobalt doesn't sleep, he just blacks out.
So he
I wish.
still has to abide by some of the body's like the necessary things. So unfortunately, like even if he doesn't want to like go take a shit, eventually Peverin's gonna have to go take a dump, and then he's gonna have to either let the kid go or do it for him, right?
Yeah.
So he's exhausted. The kid's exhausted, right? He just in a matter of 24 hours he discovered all of this information about himself. His dad died, and then climbed in his body and used him as like a voicemail, like a live voicemail essentially. So he's going through some shit right now. So mentally he's sort of at his wit's end. He's burning a candle at both ends. But I even think that having to consistently calm Peverin is likely even tiring out the spirit to a degree. So I'm going to say that like if he was outside of the body, then he didn't have to maintain the earthly needs. But because he's inside of the body and he's functioning, he's going to at least take a 4-hour nap. I'm going to let this sink in with everybody first while everybody's waking, and we're going to take a brief break. We're going to take like a 2 or 3 minute break so they can do some table talk, and we will be right back, guys.
Ready to bust in. Find the warden.
yeah, my food got here at the worst time. I literally could have waited 5 minutes. And had a break to go grab it.
Well, we will be right back, guys. So don't go far, or do. I'm not your dad.
I'm innocent.
All right, guys, we're back. We're back here, and we needed to do a small rewind as the camera seems to shift, and the tension, while remaining, this is following the Vesoriana experience. After that brief conversation that we'd had between Rye and Torvin, discussing just exactly who Tripp was, or what Tripp was guilty of. Rye, this may very well be one of your last days amidst the living. You had some interests, something that you felt like you needed to either communicate or try to do. I'm going to pass this over to you, give you the storytelling torch here.
Yeah, Rye got to talking to Torvin, which, is, again, like you said, the mood was kind of the calm before the storm. Talked to Torvin. He's, thinking about his past. He gets visited by a ghost that gives him visions. He understands the weight of tomorrow. And, right after that incident, as things are still kind of quiet in the night, he walks over quietly to Temerity and tries to wake her quietly and without alarming her too much.
Sure. Is this just like a small shoulder tap, or you're like, hey, wake? Like, what does this look like narratively?
I just kind of crouch down, more like a kind of a squat, and I just kind of tap her on the shoulder, maybe very softly.
Okay. Temerity. Slight jarring.
Mm-hmm.
Feel a tap on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm. What?
Hey, I don't mean to alarm you. Hi, sorry. It's me, Rye. Sorry, it's kind of dark. The fire's gone down.
That's okay. No one sounds like you. I knew who that. What's up? How can I? What? Is it morning? It's not morning.
No, not quite. I wanted to apologize about earlier. I didn't mean to be so straightforward.
Yes, you did. Straightforward's good. We like straightforward. Then we don't have to guess.
Yeah, that's true. I just felt like maybe I could have been a little nicer about it. He's like kind of struggling, you know, he's kind of like listen.
Is it before you go on really quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Is it clear? Like, I've been here, right?
Yeah, you should be kind of getting that vibe a little bit, maybe like
it's 3 in the morning and he's knocking at my door. Can I like just roll a perception and figure out what's going on, or is it too early? Or
Give me a sense motive for this.
Okay.
Yeah, Temerity, you like this isn't maybe it's not entirely new to you. Maybe it's been a while, but you can see the intention. You have sensed his motive.
As he's talking, she'll let him keep going, but she'll kind of rub the sleep out of her eyes and look around. Do you just want to talk, or do you just...
tomorrow, I thought.
You're still talking.
I take that and I just sort of slide in next to her as quietly as I can. And I don't do anything. I just big spoon her. And that's it.
Are you straddling her tail?
No.
Behind?
Rye is looking for comfort, not necessarily sex, okay? He is not without affection for Temerity, and he is trying to cuddle up to her.
And she's...
So you're saying you're not ready for the tail?
I don't think anyone's ready for the tail. You just kind of find the tail there when he gets there.
Tail's the whole thing. I would say that's fine, more than fine. Like remember how Nephrani slept? But same thing. It's consistent across every character.
Just like a pile, not like
I just sleeps. Like you want me to get up? It's basically like pots and pans banging. That's fine. Like that's my vibe right now. Like cuddle, but even better than sleeping. For like, let's go, because now I can cuddle and go right back to sleep. It's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Before you go to sleep, though, I whisper, I'm sorry about Zokar.
Well, that killed the mood.
No, she'll
and the tail goes
weird.
10% blood flow.
Oh god, instant deflation.
Hey,
so
remember that guy you killed with a fireball?
So I get
that shit was
instantly
crazy.
super turned on and just flip the script. No, she'll just kind of spoon in and just like she's good. Like that's fine. That's probably appropriate for a snuggle, and as long like if that's where he's going, that's what she's picking up, that's what she's good with that.
He sees that she's been struggling with this thing, and he's trying to embrace her and show her what love I can show. That's what he's trying right now. He's genuine in this attempt.
Okay.
Chat's killing me.
How long? I'm generally curious. How long do you intend to lie here? Is it just till morning? Or are you leaving Torvin to kind of maintain the camp watch?
I would imagine Torvin knows what's going. Yeah, I would imagine Torvin knows what's going on.
Okay.
Torvin's like, I'm watching. What a creeper.
Hold on, let me get my Superman shirt on.
No, I'm not happy. I'm just going, so I suppose I'm the one doing the work this morning. I will.
It's not
just
TV, it's HBO. He's fine. He's good.
Tripp on his side with his eyes wide open, just looking, just not.
You've been in love, Torvin. Watch this.
Like the cat at the end of the bed just watching you.
Hey,
Which is
man.
the worst, Maggie, right? Like,
It's the
again,
worst.
that's
I'm
like
like,
Rise
get
gotta
out of
live.
here. No
Right,
watching.
that's a vote against little dogs, by the way.
Okay, so just to sate my own curiosity here, can I get a perception from Oz and Eli?
I'm just throwing it out there that Rye would try to kind of get up before everyone. You know, not make a big deal out.
I don't know. I'm pretty snuggly.
20 and a 4. Oh my god.
Okay, well, Oz will
Drastic.
perceive anything, okay?
Oz.
There's nothing
Oz-
that
Oz
Oz
has his
doesn't perceive.
creepy
Oz
giant
sees
eyes.
through
You-
time.
You are
Oz wakes up and his little eyes just like go separate ways and like look around, like in
I
Squid
do
Game,
imagine
like
his
the red
eyes
light,
are
green
like
light,
that.
Squid Game.
I
Yeah.
imagine he has like a lazy eye vibe. Like one of them just kind of like rolls around.
Oz. You, for some reason, it may have just been something like you felt like a pinch or a bite, or there's something about it. You just stir just enough to kind of like become coherent. Sort of like roll over to find a better spot. And as you glance across the fire, it may be what remains. The smoke is playing with your vision. But you can see Rye coming over the top of Temerity and wrapping his arm over the top of her. And you can see
You
Torvin
see.
just sitting at the fire, right? Torvin just, he's kind of like, he's actually a little disgruntled by this.
Yeah, right.
Oz looks a little sad. The camera just sees him kind of sad, but just like
There's room in
deals
here.
with it and turns around and spoons his pecker. As one does.
God damn it, Maggie.
No. I've been there. Bravo.
Oh my
The
god.
human side of this campaign is truly coming out now.
Oh.
There's your quote 200.
Yep.
Yep.
In
Tripp is like,
sadness,
nah.
Oz turns over and spoons his pecker.
Yep.
There it
Tripp's
is.
like, now I have to pretend I'm asleep like this.
Wow.
Perfect. Okay. Would Oz go back to sleep?
Probably would have a hard time sleeping, so he'd probably just kind of lay there, spooning his pecker, trying to ignore what's happening behind him. So I guess if Torvin's doing something, he might.
Rumbling
Listen
under
in.
his voice. I'm
Yep.
not sure. I'll get the wood.
Listen, I don't mean to speak for me and Temerity, but you know, a
No.
third is totally fine as far as Rise concerned.
There's room in
We
here.
can just-
I'm good.
this is a 3-person
Yeah.
back.
My
you
God.
know.
I don't think Oz is gonna go
Listen,
wedge
Eli.
his way into-
Yeah, Oz just gets up and like
Look,
snuggles
we
in the
can't
middle.
ignore. There's something that everybody's been ignoring, okay? Oz has been carrying around a bucket that has an 80-pound chicken in it, all right? Oz has a fucking Hulk arm, okay? There is no way that Oz does not look like he's constantly flexing with that one arm.
Hey,
It's gotta be
Oz is
impressive.
Trogdor.
That's
Oh
right.
my gosh, he's got the one beefy arm.
Yeah, or
Got
the
Yeah,
the guy
he's like
from
he's like a
Lady
like
in the
a
Water.
crab.
Consummate V's.
Do you remember
Just
Lady in the
one
Water
long arm.
Consummate bees.
with Paul Giamatti,
Terminating. Yeah.
the fucking guy that's constantly just working out
M.
one
Night.
single arm? Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. His
Can't-
Popeye arm, yeah.
Can't ignore the Popeye arm. That's right.
That's not just any chicken, all right? That's family, all right?
No.
Eat that poor little bird of mine.
Hey, family's delicious.
Outdoor.
Don't quote that. Don't quote
Right.
that. Please no.
Thatched roof cottages.
Terminating the countryside. Terminating the peasants.
Do you know they made a board game of that?
I'm shit.
I'm not at all surprised.
Shit.
Yeah. I think you have to burn all the thatched roof cottages.
So, Oz,
Oh no.
you're dealing with this. I don't really know what this manifests like in your head. I know that, like, I, as the storyteller, know that Oz has a previous love elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least someone that you were completely in love with or infatuated with in another location. has to be
I
investigated.
think he's
another time.
thinking about that person.
Sure. But is it safe to assume that Oz might have some lurid feelings there for Rye?
I think he didn't realize he did until the great spooning.
This moment. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, till this moment.
Now we're calling this moment the great spoon. And then the good
At least
times
until it
ended.
leads to
the true Hollywood story, you know.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
great spooning led to a strong forking. And alas, here we are.
Forking of the tail. Forking of the
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, we'll come to an end of that point. Morning will rise to this. We're alerted to this by Rye kind of moving around, waking everybody up in the camp. Torvin, what does this look like for you? The odd man out, the lone guard, the night's watch, if you will.
Mumbling dwarvish typical curses under my voice continuously. Of course, I'm the one that'll get the tea.
Okay, perfect.
It's so good.
Morning comes quickly. Alas, here we are. Dew breaks. The sun shines through what little bit of tree cover you happen to hold. You're just off the beaten path, just off the road at this point. Fog is starting to rise and move into this area. You're met by the sounds of Rye sort of stomping around, jarring everyone awake. Pecker is alerted. Eli, you can come too. Torvin, this isn't new for you. The new day is before you. Town is never far, just about a mile or so out. Pecker just assures that everyone is in fact awake. Tripp, you sit up. Your eyes don't open because they didn't technically close. They can't open further. You take into the area around you. There's this almost paramount feeling of dread that sort of hangs in the air. It's like you're waiting for the bus, the first day back at school. You hate it. You want it to be over with already. The anxiety is there. You don't know what Harrowstone brings. None of you do. And still you can't wait to get there, to figure it out, to solve this problem. But a few things hang in the balance. Some questions still lurk there. Rye, you learned some things that evening. Torvin did too. That is up to you if you tell Tripp or the rest of the party. The town still bears questions waiting to be answered. Alendru, where was he during the meeting? Why hasn't he come out? Has he realized that you took his storm bubble? The council. What have they done? How are they ensuring the safety of the people of the town? What happened while you were gone? Many of these things probably play to and fro your minds back and forth. Sure, you feel as if you had a nice rest, even if it was short, but you were finally outside of the town. You're not visited in the middle of the night by anything that was immediately malevolent. And here you are, that calm before the storm. It's anybody's moment. The spotlight is open. If you'd like to take this, it's yours.
This is just cooking food and getting things ready before we head back to town.
Eli will grab.
He is
oh, go
once
ahead.
in a while looking over at Rye and Temerity, but not
Damn.
saying anything.
Eli's gonna grab his backpack and quietly head off out of sight into the woods for a moment.
Oh, okay. Are you coming back? Does it look like you're coming back?
Yeah, and I gotta go take care of something real quick.
Gotcha. You spoon your pecker. I got you.
No. Oh, but I can go ahead and do it role play it real quick. He'll take out his candle from his bag and light it, and he'll do a prayer to Torag, and ask for atonement for traveling with those that don't share in the teachings and the ways and the principles, and ask for guidance in in the way that he can offer to help bring about change in those that are considered evil and bring them redemption. It's an atonement ritual for traveling with an evil person. So
Okay.
it's something I have to do as a paladin.
It's just that you want to.
I want to do it, but
Oh no, I think he actually has to because if
No,
like
he
no, I
has to.
have to every so often if I'm traveling with an evil person. I have to do an atonement ritual.
yeah.
Well, Jamenda will be happy to hear that.
Hmm.
That's what you mean, right? This evil entity that we're traveling with.
And then he'll just quietly pack his things up and return to the group.
He's got double.
When Eli comes back, I do kind of like call everybody together.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, I'm nodding.
just kind of sit them down like I got something to tell them,
Oz is like eating a rat stick.
Cool. Fancy.
I'm assuming everybody is okay to sit down and
Yeah. Tripp will roll up his stuff and
Yep.
make sure his spot's clean and yeah, he'll join.
Rye's gonna start this a little awkwardly, and he's gonna say, well, some things happened last night that I feel like we need to share with the group.
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I did see something.
Yeah, I.
Torvin did too.
Well, for sure, he had to watch the rest of the campfire after you two were canoodling.
And at that, Rye is
No.
that's
What does canoodling mean?
Well,
I'm sorry.
makes a lot of sense that you don't know what that is.
Right.
When a tiefling and a human
Never heard of that.
sort of like each other.
Interestingly enough, Temerity, Rye, Torvin,
Canoodling.
sense motive.
sure.
Do I even have that?
Yes.
Well, you say that.
Killing it.
Can always luck reroll.
No, I'm good. This moment is confusing because he thought he was talking about something else, and everybody else thinks he's talking about. So he'll sit in that confusion.
Temerity, give me your sense motive as well.
I did.
Oh, you did?
14.
She picked up
Oh,
on it.
okay.
14.
Is everybody happy with their rolls?
Mhm.
Okay. Temerity, you know what? I'm gonna give it to you as an even or an odd. Pretty much right on the
Even.
money. Even? Okay.
Hesitation.
46 even.
Boom.
Very good. Temerity, you this only makes sense that you get this as an investigator. You defining the motivations of an individual is always the key point when discovering so much about why it is what they've done. There's more to what Oz has said than meets the eye, and you get a small twinge of envy or jealousy.
Oh, she's gonna think it's the other way because I made her the fish. Yeah,
Yep.
That's
All
right.
right.
That's perfect.
100%.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
So, all right.
So you've just given the description of canoodling. Eli said, "Oh, okay."
Rye looks awkwardly at Temerity and at Oz and is like, that's not Torvin. And I'm looking at Torvin like back up the ghost.
Yeah, there was a spooky wispy lass.
Yes.
Yes, there was that.
Yes.
Not just the canoodling, but a big spooky ghost.
I was not referring directly to the. There was a ghost. We're talking about
Oz kind of slinks back.
Viseriana. Is that her name, Viseriana?
Soriana, yeah.
Viseriana visited us last night. Well,
Briefly.
visited Torvin and I.
Was this before, during, or after?
Not important. Now tell me, did
Okay.
she come with the information that we asked
It was
for?
before.
She did. And this is when I look over at Tripp. She gave me a choice on what information, on what prisoner I would like.
Which one of the 5 did you find out about?
Well, did you figure out where the warden is? That's who we need to find.
Yeah, that actually seems... So we have a location then.
That's
That
a
takes
good
a
idea.
deep
I
breath.
was like, whoops.
Takes a deep breath. At the time that she showed up, I wasn't even looking at her. I was staring at Pevrin. I didn't really hesitate. I didn't really think about it. And I asked her about Tripp.
I thought we already knew about Tripp.
As you say that, like, you, like, his, like, hands visibly tense on the log, and, like, he almost, like, digs into it.
We
Oz
know
kinda-
what Tripp has told us about Tripp.
Oz kind of looks at Tripp and then looks back at Rye. Well, what'd you find out? Bringing us all together, so it must have been something juicy.
Well, she didn't just tell me, she showed me. She
Like
got in my head. and-
illusions?
yes. Dreams,
Oh,
pictures, looking through her eyes. That sort of thing. Your sort of thing.
that's
Starting
fancy.
to sound like me.
How bad was it?
That's bad.
Did he murder someone?
No. No. It's bad because he's completely innocent. Completely.
Well,
And I look at
that's not
Tripp.
bad.
He's like, you could see, like, there's, like, when you say that, it's like, there's, like, that shock where it's like, no, you didn't say that. Like,
I was kind of like
Aye,
nudges
lad.
him.
No. I was there for, they said, tax evasion or something like that, or I
Put you there.
That's the bad part.
that doesn't make sense.
Tripp, you're innocent. You're innocent.
So how did he end up there? If he's innocent,
They put him there.
pick him up and put him there? Like, what happened? You don't
Tripp,
just get dropped in there.
do you remember working for some noble? Who did you work for?
I don't know. I don't know anything other than the prison. I'm supposed to be there, right? That's why I'm here now. I'm supposed to be there, right?
You weren't supposed to be there, Tripp. If Viseriana can be believed, and I have no reason to think she would lie. She helped us before. She's been one of the few sources of information we've actually had, good sources. You're innocent. You were, from what I could see, you were the fall. You were the fall guy. For some deal gone wrong. There was a deal gone wrong, but there was definitely maybe a deal gone right between whoever was supposed to be there and the guards. But strangely, the warden didn't sign off. From what I could see, I don't think the warden had anything to do with it.
Well, maybe that's not so strange after all. I mean, from what we know, it seems like the warden's the one that we need to find. Maybe that's why this whole thing is going down. That he wasn't interested in what shenanigans they were up to. Maybe that's how the fire started.
We'll have to find out. I know it's bittersweet, but at least it must mean something to you to know you're an innocent man.
So like that portion, I would say, kind of like passes over him. You can see like tears running down his face at this point, and it's not Pevrin that's crying, that's Tripp, but it's like I don't know, it's like a mix of emotions, but like he's not moving. He's just looking down and like trying to take it all in, because at this point now he doesn't know what to do.
If Oz sees you crying, he'll like offer a hand to hold, and Becker will kind of snuggle in again.
Rye looks over at Eli. How's Eli taking all this?
I mean, he had a chat with Tripp already and tried to pump him up a little bit. So I don't know. I'm still not buying it 100% because it came from a ghost. But and it's coming from, I mean, I guess it's more reputable coming from Torvin and Rye, right? Than if it was just Rye saying it.
Oz trusts Rye.
He takes Oz's
after
hand.
the canoodling.
He trusts Rye. He just is sad now.
Ouch. He looks up and he just grabs his stuff. I'll let you all finish your conversation. I'm just gonna wait over there until you're ready to travel. Excuse me. And he just picks up his stuff and just starts walking. He probably gets a couple of feet down the road. I'd say a couple of yards down the road, and kind of he distanced himself quite away from you guys.
Not a way that it prevents you guys from seeing him. You can still see him just fine. He's just far enough away that he's experienced some things.
Yeah, Oz kind of lets go, but motions for Pecker to follow. So Pecker will just kind of.
When he walks away, I look over at the rest of the group. I just kind of say, I've done time before. I always wondered what's worse, doing time for something you did or something you didn't.
I would say for something you did. You didn't do it, well, you wouldn't want to be there after all. Right? At least if you did it, then you could, atone for your sins or something. I don't know. I've never been to jail.
Prison's bad either way.
It lines up, though.
Well in there?
Whenever the ghosts were interacting with him, they would always taunt him and demean him as well. And the lack of respect made it seem like he was different than the others.
Out of place.
Well, I guess we should count our stars that he's the one in the body then, and not one of the others. That's something lucky, at least.
One less thing to worry about.
That's true. At least we don't have to constantly be looking behind our backs.
I am worried about the last person that we didn't have any information on. But I guess we'll know soon enough.
Sorry about that. I just reacted.
It just might have explained why, or it could have helped explain why bodies were rising from the restlands and attacking their loved ones. I had a hunch that maybe it was the doing of someone that hadn't interacted with us before. Not the Strangler or the Piper.
Well, the only person I'd know that could do something like that, he's been missing.
Yes, where is our friend? You'd think once things began hitting the pan that that would be a proper time to lend aid. He seemed like a powerful person. He's been in wars. He should know for this, to see the signs.
I was waiting for him, and I didn't see him. Didn't seem like he was going to show up. Then again, he could have been somewhere with the children. Seems
you
awfully
wanna-
protective of him.
Do you want to find him before we head into Harrowstone? Maybe he could join us.
I think we should probably stop in town one last time. But our aim is Harrowstone.
Aye. And quickly.
Well, as long as I get put the professor back in the ground and give him a proper resting place, then on the way, that shouldn't take too much time.
If you need help with that, Eli, you let me know.
I can help you as well.
I'll do whatever
Figured
I
maybe
can.
if you still got that fancy carriage, we could throw it up on there on the way there, so I wouldn't have to drag the damn thing around. It's my burden, but I'd rather not carry it if I don't have to the entire time.
I do, right? I
Yeah.
still have access.
You
Yeah. Then yes, absolutely.
It was stabled with the horses. But yeah, you still have access to it.
I think Torvin has a carriage.
Yeah,
too, right?
Torvin's got one too.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Meridian. I think they
Well, a
both
car.
do.
Either or.
Huh.
Don't
Yeah,
care
she has a
how we
fancy
get there.
one. He has
Just
a
help me
cart.
carry it.
Well, maybe we should go bury Petros again.
I think that's going to be on the way to Harrowstone, so we should probably finish up in town before we head that way.
Ryan odds, as long as the logistics are right on that. I don't know. I can see that.
Okay. So it sounds like we have a battle plan.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to make it back into town so that you can bury Petros, so that you can also speak to Elendru, and then finally take your first steps. Finally take those first steps. I'm okay with that. Right into Harrowstone.
I would like to offer to the group as well, if they want to go look to talk to Gorovin, if they want to give me any gold or make any requests, then I can run to Jorfa and see if we can get any supplies from there. And I could go by myself because I know she's got a problem with a certain member of our group. Just see if she's got any equipment
got
that
any
might
money
help.
Give you.
I don't know how much money we have.
a
We
la-
never.
like a last scoop of like whatever the town's got. Let's hit Tremenda.
Like-
You give us whatever you
I'm
can. You
curious
said, like,
here. Eli, did you say that out loud?
I wouldn't say Jorfa out loud, but I would say, hey, if we want to split it up, the tasks up, and save some time to get to Harrowstone more quickly, I've been to the equipment shop and I've met the shopkeeper. If you guys want to give me any gold and any requests for materials you may have, then I'd be happy to handle that if that would be beneficial to everyone. But I wouldn't mention Jorfa specifically because it seemed like I don't want to rock the boat right before we're about to go into Harrowstone, but
He
I
wouldn't want
think
to
maybe
withhold
that
information
she...
from the party. He wouldn't want to do that.
Wow.
I mean, he's all about withholding information.
Hey,
important.
I've been
We're-
called a
we need
racist.
to
I
move
lost an
quickly here.
eye.
Oh, actually, I do have
I'm
money.
not,
Eli.
I'm not losing any sleep over this.
Eli.
But I don't have enough money to get anything. I have very little.
You are reminded in your atonement, you are reminded of how important it is to maintain the laws, or at least the core tenets of what it is that mattered, particularly to Torag. And almost all dwarves, almost all of dwarven kind in general, they pray to Torag. Occasionally, like, you get those that differ, right? Differing opinions, of course, that happens, but most of them are raised in a state of communal union that Torag is kind of like, he's their direct god. He's the god of dwarves, god of the forge. And being raised in that sort of community yourself with 3 elders, with you doing this atonement, you realize how important it is. You basically forsook the advances of Pharasma and led into Torag.
Would I think that Jorfa is in the wrong then in this position for hiding
Yes.
instead? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, if that is what, if I didn't think that Torvin was the one that was in the wrong, like if I would think because I was raised by dwarves that she's like disregarding her, kind of like how Jerminda's doing with Nadal, how she's kind of like neglecting her duties to her, and her, which it's a different situation because one is like enslaved forcefully and the other, I don't know how that works with the dwarves, but yeah, okay. Yeah. I wasn't thinking that maybe. I was thinking that Torvin was wrong in that circumstance, but if it's the other way, then maybe. I mean, then I would have to have a private conversation with Torvin real quick. If I came to some kind of realization during my prayer.
Sure.
Instead.
I think it's one of those things where you solidified your opinions on things in the atonement, and then when you thought of it, you were like, no, yeah, I got to make a decision on this. This is a trigger.
Yeah, I've had to make a lot of decisions, and so it was like, it wasn't prioritized as like that's less important, but it's like life-threatening importance comes first. Then we'll.
And we do have 6 potions of healing.
Yes, you do. So do you have that conversation with Torvin?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind saying it in front of the group myself, but I think I'd pull him aside because I don't know if Torvin is going to mind if I have that conversation in front of the group. So I think I would ask Torvin, like, before we head off, if there's something I want to.
What's that, lad?
Once we're out of earshot of the others,
sure,
if that's possible.
Yeah. Everybody's kind of like, they're picking up their things. They're preparing for the trip back. It's not really a long stint. You probably see like Oz not wasting any of the last remaining bits of soup. So like kind of teetling the last bit into his mouth, or like lapping up the last of
licking the bowl.
Yeah.
The pan.
Temerity's
That's how you
probably
clean
like
the pan, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. God forbid you wash
with
it.
his gross long tongue.
So
just
Torvin, I this morning I went to do my prayers that I do every so often to my deity.
Aye.
And something had shamefully slipped my mind when I went to the equipment shop.
Oh no.
I think that we are in need of equipment, but the only equipment shop that I found in town was run by a certain dwarf that I think you need to be made aware of.
I do.
Well, have you? She certainly seemed to know you. Well, and when I mentioned you, it was almost like a deathly or a ghostly look of fear came over her face. And have you ever heard of someone named Jorfa?
You have? You have heard of someone named Jorfa?
Oh, there's a lot of comings and goings from the old mountain, and we maybe.
Eli, do you let on at all as to what she told you about Torvin and his job and what he might be? Do you remember much about it?
I remember saying that to Oz briefly in Gorovin's house. So if I told it to Oz, and if now I'm coming clean, yeah. She told me you were. I had mentioned that I had never seen a dwarf like you with the way your wounds. Oh
no.
And she said that you were to return, what was it? The 5 kings to the mountain? I believe it was along those lines. Out of character? It's a little vague exactly the details now, and she said that, I think she's hiding from, I can't say our kind, because what I feel in my heart, I'm still just a human. I'm not a dwarf. I never will be a dwarf. I understand
You're
that
like
I've been
2 dwarves put on top of each other. Don't you put yourself down.
Well, regardless, I've been told things my whole life, and I've come to grips with reality. And anyway, as much as I feel like it's my right as a paladin of Torag, I think she might be on the run, and I think she might be hiding from her duties and responsibilities as a dwarf.
Cobalt, check chat.
Maybe.
He said that Torvin won't go away until you recover the 5 kings. When you recover the mountain, he'll go back to rest into the stone. Until then, you'll have 2 jobs.
Like bloody shit, I'll go back into the stone.
Hmm.
There's confidence
worry,
when he
friend.
says that. He says that there's almost a threat behind it.
Did they say what they were ridden from?
She didn't say specifically that she was on the run, but she had these strange markings on her face that they reminded me of yours, but they weren't prominent. They looked like they had been burned away, or they had kind of like almost like my eye after. It's like
Torvin, you
it's
haven't
almost like scars instead of tattoos.
you haven't told anybody the purpose of your tutelage. You were supposed to be a cleric, but you didn't take to those teachings. You wanted to kind of find your own path, and you did. You do have a designated goal at the point of your, I don't want to say birth, but a resurrection of sorts. You were brought back from the stone. When they say that you were made, they broke the mold after they made you. Right? You've heard, I'm sure some of you have heard that saying, because they couldn't make greatness again, not the same way. This takes you back to when you were, in fact, made, your point of origin and your purpose. You weren't born from a mommy dwarf and a daddy dwarf. You were created. You are timeless. You've looked this way since your birth. As far as you know, you will never change. But you were told that you will rest again when, with your help, you reclaim the 5 Kings' crown for dwarves again. And your job is to do that, and to rein in all deserters, even if it means by death. Anyone who has those markings that are burned on their face were deserters. And you may not believe in those teachings anymore, but by Dwarven law, they sacrifice themselves. It's tantamount to suicide. And that's wholly against Torog's teachings, his ways and methods.
Yeah, suicide is one of the worst possible things that you can do in the eyes of Torog.
Jaminda fled for the boy. She cared not for her own safety. She knew what she was getting into. But this person, Jorfa, fled from duty.
Yeah, so it is. I don't feel it is in my. I don't think judgment is meant to come from me in these regards, but I do feel that it is my responsibility to make you aware of the situation. Plus, we need equipment, so I'm not sure how to. I don't know how to handle it. She knew who you were. She was afraid. She was angry. She didn't sell me anything or show me her wares. She simply let me use the forge outside to make this. And washed her hands of me, but we could really use some equipment. And
So
I don't
she
know
turns you away from her hearth, are you saying?
once I mentioned you, it went from friendly to unfriendly rather quickly. I'm sure she fears for her life. She must have.
Aye.
I mean, if she is one of the deserters she spoke of, then I'm sure she has need to be afraid.
Well, it gets a little complicated because people will have ideas, and it's not about ideas. People talk of the mountain like it's a land, like it's a place you can occupy. You have wars over it, and who's in charge this year. That's my mother. That's my earth. That's where I am. And I'm going to return it to the place where it was. And that does not just mean addressing giants. Looks over towards Oz. Anybody who violates my mother
Oh, I understand.
and if you run, this is not the time. We're being pulled too far asunder in all direction. Go speak to her. Take her gold. Demand the welcome of Hearth. We'll deal with this when we come back.
And if she doesn't comply, am I to deal with her myself then?
No. We'll deal with that when we get back. Our first need. It's this home. It's this hearth. It's this tune. We have to fix that. Before we can go on and fix anything else. These things are going to come after us and continue. We have to finish this. That first.
That's why I didn't tell you sooner, because priority
It's like
for
you were
living.
waiting for the right moment, weren't you, son?
That's right. Sometimes it's all about the timing and not so much just getting the information out all at once.
Then I think we end here on the precipice of something truly terrifying. Has an NPC just been condemned? Did she damn herself? Or has traditions damned her? Does Torvin have to confront his past? Or look for his own definitive future? Are we certainly just meant for what it is that we are created for? Or do we just tread our own? Will Tripp recover? Will he find his footing? Or will Eli or Temerity smite him back down? Return him to the ground? Will Rye touch a butt? We'll find out.
Pretty sure you already did.
Does Oz
Again.
touch a butt?
He
We'll
was
find
straddling the tail. You can't spoon that thing without wrapping the legs around it or something, or smushing it. I don't know. I'm just
Well,
logistically
perfect.
trying to think of how this looks.
Perfect.
Big tail.
Yeah. I guess cats, they usually like wrap their tails around stuff.
But this is where we're going to close it tonight. Let's go ahead and get our call out here. Eli, tell us about you, boss. What are you doing? Where can we find you as our man Cobalt?
Hello, I'm CobaltStreak on Twitch. I stream just about every single day that I can. I had to take a couple days off this weekend, but I'm going back hard this week. I'm playing, man, so many games. I'm doing Isaac always. I'm trying to finish Inscription. I just started playing Darkest Dungeon early access, so I'm going to see how far that can go before I hit the content wall. And then I've still got a Pokemon Nuzlocke somewhere in the background that I can fall back on if I get bored.
I'm jealous.
And that's it. I play D&D at noon on Thursdays and at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays right here. On Thursdays, I'm on the Roll For It channel with Maggie, doing our Ascension roleplay, and every other day, 5 p.m. on my channel. And thanks for having me. It's always a blast.
Chat wanted to know what Pokemon game are you nuzlocking?
Soul Silver.
Oh, nice.
Which is like it's like the best one. So. Well, I mean, I have Heart Gold, but I've already beaten Heart Gold. But I had Soul Silver that I didn't play yet, so that's what I was working on.
It's so good. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. We've got Miss Misty here, Imperial. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Before that, what's Nuzlocking?
Nuzlocke is when you enter a route. You the first Pokemon you encounter is the only one you can catch. If it runs away, you don't get it. And it's basically self-inflicted rules. And if a Pokemon on your team faints, it's dead. You have to release it.
You have to release it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it makes Pokemon more challenging.
Way more challenging.
No, that's awesome. My kid's like, he's been into the DS. Like he's been like pulling all his old games out.
Nice.
Playing Pokemon. So I'm gonna recommend that to him. So thank you. Yeah, I do not play Pokemon though. But hi, I'm Imperial. I stream on the Twitch. I'm Imperial here, but something else everywhere else. So start here and then find me elsewhere. I sew. Been sewing a lot. I've really been doing a lot of embroidery. I have embroidery everywhere you look. I have a pile of towels. I have tagging upstairs. I'm doing Fan Expo Denver this weekend. So if you're in the Denver area, please come and say hello and buy some cool shit. And then after that, it's just going to be all sewing all the time as I do dive headfirst into Christmas and then try to play some games in the middle of that. So it's pretty much that frenetic all the time. Have fun.
Sick. Awesome. Awesome. We've got a man Wyld here. Torvin, tell us about your boss.
Hello.
What are you doing? Where can we find you?
I'm Wyld on the Twitch, Wyld on the Twitter, Wyld on the Instagram, which I should use with one day. I have been seriously blown away by what's happening inside Minecraft of late. Their next version, the 1.19 they're hinting out, is going to be remarkable. 1.18 is just around the corner. 1.17 is being modded to be basically 1.18. I've got a mod pack under development, another one under development with, I can't say, but Lost in Twilight. But that's going to be coming around the corner. There's some dev work to be done. I'm in the middle of doing some art, relearning all my pixel art stuff so I can actually make up some things to suit these things. And there's going to be a hardcore game around the corner as well. So lots of variety in Minecraft, I guess.
Awesome. I'm excited for it.
That's
Wyld.
what's great about Minecraft.
Thank you for that. Well, I'm probably going to be joining some Minecraft stuff myself. And you got Gloomhaven too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Campaign mode is released for that, so I'm looking forward to it. If anybody wants to join. Maggie.
Is it?
Yeah, campaign mode released the 20th.
Okay, because like I had a group. We were playing consistently for like a year, and we stopped because of COVID. And we're so far behind now. We don't know where we're at in the story.
Pick it up, man. It's really, really good. Campaign mode is available.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll talk.
Perfect. Maggie, tell us about you, lady. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hello. I'm MargaretKrohn. You can find me at MargaretKrohn in all of the places because that's my name. That's where you can find me. I do lots of things on the internet. I play lots of games. Find me. I'll tell you when I'm live. And I make video games for a living. I'm currently working on a project called Ashes of Creation, and you can find that at Ashes of Creation in all of the places.
Perfect. Ello, my guy, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
What's up, everybody? My name's Ellohime. Thanks for coming out to D&D, and thank you, Bub, for hosting it, as always. I had a lot of fun. If you want to get to know me and a little bit more what I do, I usually stream very early in the morning, like 4 a.m. Eastern. So if you're an insomniac freak like me, come say hello. And you can find all my social media stuff on my channel at twitch.tv/Ellohime.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Tripp, Xander, Ronald, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hey everyone, you can currently find me here right now, which you guys just saw a couple hours ago, leading up to this point. And then tomorrow, I'm going to get back into it for sure for my streaming because I have time to do that now.
Nice.
Best way to describe my stream quality, it's like if you took cold hot dog flavor water and drank it. It's just pure.
That's disgusting.
I mean, there's a market for it.
Yeah.
Is there applesauce in there?
There's exactly. So you take that's your primary drink, and you take the applesauce with the relish hot dog, you dip it, you eat it, and you dip it into the hot dog flavored water, you take another bite. Bob's your uncle, as a cool kid would say.
Just thinking about this.
There you go.
Disgusting.
There you go. That's just that's yeah.
Hi guys, I'm
Thank
Bob.
you.
You're here. You already know most about me at this point. I do video gaming and I do storytelling tabletop stuff. I've got a lot of cool stuff happening around me. Just recorded my one shot for Stitch of Fate, the award-winning podcast I'm very, very excited about constantly. We start up again. Our first episode of season 3 starts on the 5th, which is going to be sick. What else is there? I don't know. You guys are here. Check out the Discord, check out the Twitter, and come hang out with us. We do Gloomhaven, we do League of Legends, we do all kinds of things. I keep inviting people, and they're like, yeah, I'll be there at... Fuck you. And they don't ever show up. So stop being those people. Come play League with me and rescue me, please, because I've got a moderator that I'm eventually going to choke if I have to keep playing League with him.
I'm downloading it just for you.
Please, God, save me.
I would if my kid didn't keep waking up at 3 a.m. for like 2 hours. I'm sitting in the darkness with him, like he's just clapping and squealing happily. I'm like, go to sleep, child.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
School at 7 a.m.
Well, when things calm down, I'll say I've got spots open for everyone here. But that's it, guys.
I guess let me know what time.
Yes.
If it's in a time and a slot where I'm not doing something, I'm down.
Perfect. That's it for us, guys.
There's no jumping, right? No.
Some champion. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it. It's not important. Guys, we're out of here. Take it easy. Do what you do. Stay safe. Stay nerdy. Peace.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye, guys.
Cheerios and salt, guys. Try it.
Shut